And we are live. What's good, people? What's good, YouTube? It's another episode of us talking about football. Man, I just want to say that this week has been really busy. It's been hard to get this whole panel here, but we got a good panel. We got a good panel, man. I really am excited for this. So we got Maury, Chelsea fan, my brethren from high school days. Funny enough, all these guys I have on the that will be on the live are actually Wolmer's boys. Every single one of them, old boys. So big up my alma mater. I get Quadragis all the way. You know what I'm saying? So we got Murray, Chelsea fan. We got Immanuel, my brethren from second form at Wolmer's, as I said before. Manchester United fan. And we got Bob, met him from Arsenal, Jamaica. He's an Arsenal fan. JamCasian, big up yourself. So yeah, we got a very star-studded panel, I'd say. But yeah, so we're gonna discuss the Big Six, FA Cup preview, FA Cup final preview, and discuss how the guys feel about Chelsea, how the guys feel about Manchester United. Even their thoughts about Arsenal. Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. So I mean, we have a lot to discuss. So let's get them on the panel. Let's get them on. Let's get them on stage. Welcome to the channel, guys. Welcome to Team Preztige. What's good, guys?
Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. I mean, I must say, guys, I really appreciate you all coming on and thing, because I know you guys all had work, long day. but now we're gonna discuss football, the best sport in the world.
Of course.
Well,
Yeah, man, awesome.
well,
Wait a minute.
well. For me, that differs still. Best sport for watch, yeah.
Best sport for watch, but what do you think is the best sport, bro?
If me I go play a sport, me not play football. I'm not playing football.
Oh, channel.
I can't do it.
Oh, okay. So in your case, football is just the best to watch, but not to play.
Yeah, I prefer to play cricket. If I'm going to be out there, I'm playing cricket, bro.
You know what? That's sound, bro. That's sound. No complaints here, man. So,
Well, to be honest with you, as a Man U fan, I don't enjoy football like how I used to. Right? I was watching a cricket match. I was watching T20 yesterday, and I had more fun.
Yeah.
Now watching
Wow,
a Man U match.
man.
Yeah, that's where it's at right now.
Big up Brandon King. Badman Brandon.
Yeah, big up Brandon King.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, definitely. So, man, where to start? I guess we'll start from the top of the table. Manchester City, they won once again.
Definitely.
4 in a row. Like, what we saying, guys? I mean, where do they rank in terms of like all-time Premier League teams? Like, where do they rank? They did a 4-peat. I mean, what can we say?
I mean, that's never been done before, I mean, them have all the glitter, all the ingredients to be a club where you would say, yeah, they're the best in the world, untouchable. But something about them just lacking. I don't know what it is. It just feels fake. I don't know.
Boring. It's boring, man.
It's like I don't know.
For me, the way how I look at it, he's right. It feels boring, but to me, it's more so that you look at them and you think, okay, sure. The first, you see, all right. Do you see the first one they got, 11-12 or 10-11? That one was special.
Very special. Yeah.
It was like out of the blue to me. I was like, who's Manchester City? I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Then we fast forward, 6, 7, 8 years now? 9 years, more than that?
More than that. Like about 12 years.
Yeah.
A proper 12, 13 years since that.
Yeah.
And I feel nothing towards their achievements. It's just become not the norm, but an unwanted expectation. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And he's right, they're boring. It's unenthusiastic. We can talk about the fan base, but it feels soulless.
Yeah, and man, I'm on like Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And City has done what no other team has done before, winning it 4 times in a row. And the next day, nobody was talking
No,
about it.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. No one talks about it. As a matter, I see
No,
more attention given to Arsenal coming second than
Yeah,
than
Yeah,
than, than Man City winning.
yeah, and Klopp's farewell. Klopp's farewell had more
Yeah,
views than Manchester
yeah,
City's parade. Like,
yeah.
yep.
it's crazy.
Well, City have no fans, so I mean that's where that is.
Ah, well, there we go.
I think even last season, using last season, because last season was the first time Arsenal was relevant in terms of the title race and title charges again.
Yeah,
Um, Last season, them announcing themselves as treble winners, that announcement had less Twitter traction than I think it was somebody's departure, or it was like an Arsenal season-ending post on the admin Twitter admin. I'm like, bro,
Wow.
wow.
there's levels to this.
Mm.
Wow, man. I mean, I have a question though, because I don't know if you guys realized, but City now has the same amount of trophies as Chelsea Football Club. And
Great.
um yeah, I mean, I'm starting to see that more, but like, what do you think more? Like, you see that Manchester City has the same amount of trophies as Chelsea. Um Chelsea has the fourth most trophies in the whole Premier League, in all
Mhm.
Premier League teams. Um what do you think about that? What do you think about City equaling the amount of trophies you guys
I
have?
mean, listen, and if
Mm,
we look at the how City play and how good
mm,
they've been over the last however many years, you have
yeah,
to give it to them. They've done very well. They've had outstanding players, and there's no time I can say, "Oh, City won the league and they didn't deserve it." Maybe that Liverpool 97 pointer. I'd rather Liverpool won
ah,
it.
man, that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
brutal,
yeah,
man. That was brutal.
yeah. That was ridiculous. But like
Yeah.
overall, I'd say they're excellent. However,
Mhm.
I don't really care because it's City. No,
Yeah.
honestly, like this whole time
Mm,
as the title race has been going, like last year really shook me because I thought
yeah.
it's December, Arsenal are top of the league. Usually, when you're top of the league by December, you win. And I was like,
Mm.
God damn it, Arsenal are going to win the league. And City
Ah.
came and pipped you guys. And
Mm,
this year, we kind of knew by right around when Tottenham lost to City, we are
mm,
like, yeah, it's probably going to go to City. And I was just like, yeah, it is what it is. It doesn't strike me with, I don't know, the sadness it would like if a team like Manchester United, a team like Arsenal would win the league, where it's just like, ah, damn it. With
mm.
City, it's just like, I don't. It is what it is. I don't really care.
Wow. Wow. So Emmanuel, do you think it is the premise of Farmers League? Do you think because what four-peat City win, four in a row, City won the treble, like what do you think, bro?
Yeah, I mean that's what they're doing. They're basically turning the league that is considered the best in the world into a farmers
Mm.
league. I can't even go around it because it's almost like a joke now. Like, I mean, are they that good that they're turning it into a joke, or is just that I don't know what it is. But
They're
I
that good.
mean, yeah,
Mm.
They're that good.
So
Pep is
so
ridiculous.
yeah, he is. He really is. He really is. I know Bob and I spoke, in length about Manchester City and how great they are. But there is the elephant in the room, the 115. Like Bob, what do you think of the 115? Do you think possibly, they have something to hide? Are they, possibly guilty? Do you think they're innocent?
Mhm.
What's your whole thought on the whole 115?
Okay. Do they have something to hide? No. I think they're very brazen about it. It's going to be a brazen action, proceedings wise. Um, in terms of something being done about this, I don't think this is going to be resolved within two years.
Mm,
Let me just say that this is an unprecedented legal stance, battle, whatever you want to call it. This is just downright ridiculous, and we got the details of the actual they're not allegations, they're charges, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm,
they've actually found what they needed to bring forward to whatever court of whatever the sports arbitration or whatever to
mm,
say this is what we have as proof. So these are actual charges. Some of them are just they sound so bad.
Yeah.
Like the ones with the managers and the players is the worst one for me.
yeah.
In my opinion, that one does not sound good. Like, what do you mean by player payment and um uncertainty over certain funds and such? Yeah, that doesn't sound good. But everything else, it's all in all, it's not going to be resolved very easily. They won't get away with it. They won't be relegated. It's not going to happen. Um, it's because it's not only going to be a stain on Manchester City, everyone involved, players and coaches.
Mm,
It's also going to be stain on the Premier League itself. So I don't think they can afford to actually hit City with the yardstick like that. They're not going to do it for their own league's reputation. They're not going to do everything that is in the books. They're going to find a
oh,
way to keep it that City doesn't get stripped of the title some way or somehow. I don't necessarily want them to be stripped of the title because, to be honest, I don't want an asterisk next to my name, my team's
yeah,
name
yeah.
for the last two seasons, especially.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure United, Chelsea, whoever would have been around there at that time, obviously it's been
Especially
interchanged.
Liverpool.
Liverpool,
Yeah.
I don't think they want an asterisk next to the name, and they already got one, didn't they, in COVID? So
Mm,
I don't want that. I'm good. Keep your trophies. I'll do it the fair way, fair and free way. Well, it's not free, but I'll do it the honest way, as honest as American businessmen can be.
well, well said, well said. Maury, um, what do you think should happen to City if City is found guilty?
Uh,
Like in
that's
your
a
personal opinion. Mm,
that's a tricky one because even recently I was looking up some info on this, and apparently there may be, it's probably going to be put to a vote, but there may be a change where instead of points deduction, it's a fine, not just for City, but for everyone in the
mm,
league. If it changes to that, then City will just pay whatever the fine is. It's fine. Like,
yeah.
and so it from that perspective, it's like, well, okay, is that fair? Because if it was like, say, Everton, who had a points deduction this year,
Mm,
if they had to pay a massive fine, it would impact them way more than it would impact City. And
yeah.
so it would seem like it's way more unfair towards the quote unquote smaller clubs than what you call the big six. That's one.
Yeah.
Two,
Mm,
points deduction wise, let's say City get relegated. How long you give them to come back up? Maybe like a year? Because
yeah.
it's still City. I mean, let's say the sponsorships have like clauses that say that, oh, you get relegated, won't give you as much money. Obviously, players will leave, but
Yeah.
it's still gonna be, the oil. But well, me calling it oil backed is kind of calling what calling the kettle black, but like calling oil black or oil backed
Yeah.
is like they're still gonna find a way to get back in the league, and they're still gonna find a way
Mm,
to get back to the top. And so it's just like finding a punishment for them is really difficult. I also
mm,
agree in terms of this isn't going to be resolved anytime soon.
mm.
Uh, how long has the 115 charges been over City's head? Like,
About the last year or so, like a little over a
right.
year, like about
And
14 months or so.
right. So when the charges initially dropped,
Mm,
and the Premier League were like, hey, City, all this information that we want, you need to give us.
mm,
City went to court to try and say that, oh, the Premier League doesn't even have the right to ask for this information when clearly they do. And so it
exactly.
took it took all this time. I think it was
Mm,
recently uh, put down by the judge saying this is foolishness. The Premier League asked for the information. You have to give it to them. And
mm,
they've been slow and they've been trying every step of the way
mm,
to circumvent what is an inevitability.
Mhm.
And so it's really weird to think that some people are saying, oh, maybe in the next couple of years, City are going to get
Mm.
relegated. I don't see it happening. Again, I also agree it's going to be a stain on the Premier League. How could
Mm.
you have let this happen under your nose for so long? It looks away. And
Mm.
so it's a very, very tricky situation. Obviously, as a rival, I want them gone. Uh,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
it would be. I understand not wanting an asterisk beside your win.
Mhm.
You want to win, and you want to watch the parade. You want to see a team lift a trophy. You want to go on that ride of, oh, will they win? Will won't they win? And then you finally do. It's like you want that,
Mm.
and it's like that's all taken away from you. And it's like, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's your trophy, guys. Be happy with that. I mean, sorry we let City run away with it for how many years, but take what you get. It's like it doesn't really sit
Yeah.
right, and so I understand not wanting that.
Mhm.
So it's a tricky one, but
Mm.
yeah, I want them gone, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't but my entertaining Premier League.
By the way, as you
Yeah.
said that last part about, just handing off the trophies or showing up to um wherever our head office actually is. I don't know if they actually consider the Emirates the office, but yeah, they're like, oh yeah, so City got fined, so here's the last two Premier League trophies. And then you look at it, I don't think the accountants would want that. Like that sounds like an accounting nightmare to me. You already
Yeah.
closed
Yeah.
the past two seasons
Sure.
and you have to reopen them because of, well, yeah, I wouldn't want to be an accountant if that happens. Any
Yeah.
club.
Yeah. It sounds really messy. It sounds really messy. It sounds like basically I don't know, like part of winning a trophy and winning the league is all about the journey. And basically if they are guilty, we don't know, allegedly or whatever. If they are guilty, then I can just from an Arsenal fan point of view, it's kind of just leaves a bitter taste in my mouth because I have witnessed my team come second twice, heartbreak twice. And if it turns out that Arsenal did deserve to win those two trophies, it'd be like crazy because then I already went through all the emotions of those two seasons. And so I don't know. It's like it'd be very messy. I think I don't know, but
Also,
mm.
just a quick thing. Think about the lawsuits. Because
Oh man.
surely Arsenal and surely
Mm.
Liverpool, my God, have the say of being like, hey, you cost us not just the titles, but the money that the titles bring, right? And it's
Yeah.
just like, hey, you cost us this, we're gonna sue you for it. And I don't know if they're suing City, I don't know if they're suing the Premier League. Think about
Oh
the
man.
relegated teams. We'll be like,
Oh
hey,
yeah. They lost so much money.
yeah,
Yeah.
the last four teams will be, hey, we got pumped by City for these 4 years, and that aided in us getting relegated. We want money for that. It's like it could get it could get very, very bad. And I think the
Mm.
Premier is thinking about that and going, I don't know.
And you also have to remember too, the most recent of those charges doesn't necessarily mean what 17, 18, or 18, 19 was the last set or the most recent ones.
Yeah.
It still
Yeah,
doesn't tell us that after that point there isn't more. So there's just 115 charges up to from 2009 up to that point. There
sure.
can be more in that period. For instance, Erling Haaland's transfer, for on Dortmund's part, it's financial brilliance, but on City's part, it's like, where are you generating this money from exactly, and
Exactly.
how did you manage to break down his release clause for one to get it to 60? Because I'm pretty sure it was 80 or 85 that was the asking rate, even if he had 18 months left. And then you look at it and you're like, Dortmund probably got like a fat sum of cash from the Champions League win last year. The triple win overall, the goal scoring records that he set, they would have gotten a lot of money off of Erling Haaland last season for all those accolades and those records. And you look at it and you say, that really begs the question: how many other charges are there? How many other infringements after 2018-19 were there in addition to the 115? And it's not
Mhm.
looking pretty at all.
Yeah. So I have a question. So I asked in relation to if they're, if in the case if they were guilty. But let's just assume, it's always innocent until proven guilty. So right now, as we know, they're innocent. So Emmanuel, where does City rank for you in terms of like all-time great Premier League teams? I mean, as a United fan, you definitely have several amazing teams to look at.
Mm. Yeah, man.
So
Definitely.
where does the City team rank in terms of all-time teams?
Alright. I can't answer this question without being biased. So you just have to take my biasness from now. That's what I tell you from now. But I personally, that season
Mm,
where Manu won was the what, year 1999 2000 season, where we won the
mhm,
treble. We're so scared to win that Champions League against Bayern Munich.
mm.
I don't know. It's just the fact that they can do things so memorable. Where I rank a team like that above this City what I'm seeing right now. Even 2008, 9 season Manchester United, where Ronaldo was like a god. Them
Oh
days,
yeah, yeah, man,
Oh
the
my
Ballon
days.
d'Or and everything. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
but it's a Premier League. I even can go outside the Premier League and even talk about Spanish, the Barcelona squad from 2009 to
Oh
2011.
yeah.
I know you said Premier League, but just to mention
Mm.
that, but I just talking about the aura of those teams, right? So I put City behind all those teams that I mentioned, to be honest with
What about Invincibles? Invincibles.
you. Man, you can't talk about that, but
No, I'm just saying, and the great
yeah,
Invincibles.
You
But
can't even do top five. Top five. Come on. Top.
come on, bro, Invincibles.
yeah, the Invins is up there, that one little season, yeah.
Watch
Yeah, I'm biased.
watch
I'm
your
a Man U man, so
That's a piss take. Lost no games in a season, and it's just that little season. That's
There's a
I
little
crazy.
mean,
season. Wow.
they have to make a
Wow.
custom trophy on the go for us, and you say that little season. All right,
yeah, man.
Wow, wow. I guess we can say that he's not a big fan of Arsenal, but understandable.
that's the way it should be. That's the way it should
Yeah,
be.
that's how it
Yeah,
should be,
man.
honestly. But in the comments, Paulo Jack, big up himself. He's saying, well, not too sure about the big up part, but he's saying Chelsea greater than Arsenal. That's what he's saying. Thank you for the comments. Not sure if I agree with that, but thank you for the comment.
Oh, I very much agree.
Oh yeah, of course, Mario agrees. So you have one
Well,
fan here.
man,
One.
you see, once we win a Champions League, you can't talk again. Now.
If we have
Once,
two, man. If
once.
Man, but I mean, speaking of which, where does Pep Guardiola rank for you in terms of all-time managers? I mean, I know I asked Bob that already, and Bob put Pep at, I believe, second. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bob.
Yeah, he was second.
Okay, so you see, for all-time managers, he ranked Pep second. Maury, where do you rank Pep in terms of all-time managers? I mean, you've seen a whole bunch of managers. You've seen a lot of success, especially as a Chelsea fan. I believe Chelsea is the most successful team in the last 20 years, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
So I mean, you have a whole plethora of managers. I mean, you've seen managers for other teams. You've seen, Sir Alex. You've seen Arsene Wenger. You've seen Carlo Ancelotti. I mean, where does Pep Guardiola rank for you in terms of all-time managers?
oh my days. Gonna put Fergie first.
Mm,
Gonna put Fergie first. Fergie found ways to win.
mm-hmm.
That last championship, Premier League championship that Fergie won with that
Yeah,
team. Think about how that team did the very next season under a different manager. Like
yeah, yeah.
it's crazy. I'm
Mm,
gonna put Fergie first. I
mm,
okay. Pep is ridiculous. Pep is a madman
mm,
when it comes down to football and tactics. I would say the most interesting thing about City over these, let's say these last 4 years, even over the last six that Pep
mm,
has been here, is yes, it's boring. in terms of
Mhm.
the win, and they keep on winning, and we know they're gonna win. Cool, but the way in which they win each season is
Mhm.
slightly different. Like the Pep squad 4 years ago didn't have four centre backs essentially in their back
Yeah,
line,
yeah. Mhm.
whereas this season they do, and they seem to be on a trend of getting taller and stronger players as the time has gone by.
Mhm.
Uh, but anyway, that's not the question. So I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go Fergie first.
Mhm.
Uh, my bias wants to put Jose Mourinho at second. Why? But there's so much to think. Like I can think of Arsene Wenger, how
Yeah.
much he changed and shaped the league when he came in.
Oh yeah, he
That
definitely
the
did.
Premier
Yeah.
League is completely different now because of him.
Mm.
For the good, by the way. I think people
Yeah,
don't give
definitely.
him as much credit as he
Yeah,
deserves.
even
I
outside of
agree.
Yeah, even outside, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So it's difficult because in their own way,
Mm.
Jose Mourinho conducted a league win
Mm.
with 15 goals conceded in 38 games.
Yeah, that's
That's ri-
crazy.
that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous, man. Yeah.
But I'm gonna put Pep. I'm gonna put Pep third. I'm gonna put him.
Third. Wow.
I'm gonna put him third.
Mm.
I love Fergie, and I can't take away what Wenger has done.
Mm.
I'm gonna put Pep third.
So just to clarify, Arsene Wenger is second for you.
Yeah,
Okay. So
as
you
much as it
have
pains me
yeah
to say that. Yes, yeah.
yeah. Mm. I respect that. I respect your honesty, bro, and I really respect that. So just to go over your top three so far, you said Sir Alex first, understandable. That he's also he'd also be my first as well. I think as much as it pains me, yes, I believe he is the greatest manager of all time. I mean, 13 Premier Leagues. That I mean that's crazy. So I can't say no to him. I can't deny his greatness. So and you said Arsene Wenger second, and I
Yeah.
understand that completely. Yeah. Um, and then Pep is third. So what do you think Pep has to do to be number one, to be considered a GOAT? Like what do you think?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
I think when these new managers, I want to see what
Mm,
these new managers do. New managers
mm,
being Vincent Company, Enzo
mm,
Maresca, Mikel Arteta, who we've seen done really well. I
yeah.
think Pep is currently in the transition of his era,
Mm,
where the managers that are coming up and the managers that have been under his tutelage are showing that they're also incredible. It's kind of like when oh my days, what's his name? It's a Dutch uh manager. I don't know if it's either Ronald Koeman or
Who, Johan Cruyff? Cruyff, fella?
yeah. Cruyff,
yeah.
thanks.
Cruyff. Yeah.
When Cruyff had, I think a lot of Cruyff's assistant managers have went on to be like incredible managers, or at
Yeah,
least managers for the top level.
for
And
sure.
so we're seeing now, obviously, it's just a start. But I think
Mhm.
once we can say, Pepper's not just influenced the league in terms of what he's done, but in terms of what the people that has taught him has done,
Mm.
I would say, yeah, Pepper's gonna be the best manager that the world has ever seen. On that.
Ooh.
I think he's on that road, and I think by the time he retires, there
Mm.
will be no doubt Pep will be the best manager the world has ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
Emmanuel,
I
say
agree. I
really,
agree.
really,
Yeah,
at
I
a
agree.
Manchester
Yeah, as a
United
Man U
fan.
man. Yep, I
Wow,
agree.
that these are some big statements, Bob. What are you thinking?
well, I have to agree with him for now. In terms of if I, all right, when you say in the future, how you mean like 5, 10 years from now? Do you determine that by that time? That's if he doesn't like permanently retire, like retire early. Um,
Yeah,
okay, so over the next 5 to 10 years, yes, I'll agree with you.
Oh,
After that point, it's going to be a toss up between Xabi. Xavi, Mikel, and the new kids. Maybe even we don't know McKenna. Maybe
Mm.
we don't know. Maybe he is Manchester United's new Fergie. He's Scottish, right? So maybe he can work.
Gotta be, gotta be very careful when you're talking about managers. Man. Look at
Listen,
Frank.
Moyes had a big plate in front of him, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
But
a tough act to follow up, you know.
it is. Ultimately, I have to agree with him. But after that 5 to 10 year cycle, it's going to be the current new bloods that are going to be the talk of the town. I hope Vincent Company is successful at Bayern for a long time. I would like to see him strive. And in a sense, if that happens for him, it's something that's been a problem in terms of like you really look at it and you see black managers and opportunities. I didn't expect Vieira to get fired. I understand why he got fired from Palace.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look good that Roy Hodgson came back in and revitalized the team. And now obviously Roy's retired because health is getting to him. But it didn't look good on somebody like Patrick Vieira. So I'm hoping that Company can be the guy. A couple of years ago, it was Chris Hughton at
Bob.
Something happened.
Hello?
Look like something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Bob. We're here now. Yeah. You
Okay. I don't know where it went.
it shipped out. You're talking about Chris Houghton.
Yeah, Chris Hughton. So at Brighton, I was hoping that he would be the spark that started that sort of revolution. And I'm not saying no, I want black dominance and only black managers. That's stupid. The best manager for the best clubs. I don't care what race you are, but it is good to see people, different types of people getting different jobs. I'm tired of seeing the same old guys recycling, going through the same four managers. Barcelona, for instance, is a team that kind of did it differently for me because you look through, you see Kluivert way back when, you see Cruyff even further back, you see Coleman for initial spell, and then you have somebody like newcomer, right? Tito Villanova, Tito Villanova, Tata Martino, Pep. Then you have Xavi gets a chance. Coleman comes back, which was really and truly a terrible appointment, but
yeah,
that wasn't great.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
We are here now with Xavi being a terrible firing, in my opinion. But
I agree.
Yeah. I strayed from the question, but yeah, I have to agree with him about the Pep point. But I'm just looking forward to the new generation of big managers. Xabi Alonso has a head start. Yeah. Big one.
I suppose the last thing I want to ask, sorry to cut him, but the last thing I want to ask really is as relates to City. Like Manchester City, like, do we think any other team actually has a chance of like winning the Premier League? Like while Pep is here, like, do we actually think that, or is it going to be a monopoly?
Yeah, I do think so. I think that I'm going to use next season as a blueprint, or to start off as an argument. If let's use Arsenal because we're technically the closest right now.
Yeah.
2 consecutive seasons we got closer. 5 points, 2 points. Next season we probably win by 1 or goal difference. We don't know, or we lose by 6. Who knows? And let's hope that's not the case. But I think once one team gets it, it's just going to open the floodgates and spur other teams to get it. So if we, using us, Arsenal, if we take the lead from Pep in his contractual last season. Not only will it be like a statement. Obviously, we would have loved to have done it in the season that Guardiola Klopp was going,
Yeah.
but I think beating Pep in his last season would be more meaningful. Um, but at the same time, I'm not saying that we're going to have just complete dominance after that point.
Mm.
I think Liverpool will wake up again.
Mm.
I think Man United will be back into the top four properly. Not just rehashing and signing superstars and hoping that they fix all your problems by adding 15 plus goals, but not fixing your defense. But um, I think Chelsea will definitely be back up. Uh, Once Pep goes, I think Man City will fall off into the more so the European spot, the Europa League spots. Over the course of like 2-3 years, with him out of the job, they will fall off. The culture will change, the atmosphere around that club will change. But so yes, I do think that once one team gets it, hopefully it's next season to break the cycle. We don't want a five-peat. Let's not make it worse.
Please, please, no,
Let's not
please.
make it any worse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
for the sake of the Premier League and the integrity of the league itself, let's hope it's not the case.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%, man.
And I have a few questions for Roberto De Zerbi.
Man, Maury, what do you think, bro? Like, do you think any team can beat Pep? At this point, it's not even Manchester City in my mind. It's Pep. Can we beat Pep?
The
Can
main
any team beat
problem,
Pep?
the main problem is perfection. You have to be damn near perfect to get close to this city. Think about Arsenal's season. Think about the season Arsenal has had. Think about where people say the downfall of Arsenal's title charge was, and then look at the games around it. Arsenal
Yeah,
didn't really drop that many points in the second half of the season.
you're right. You're right.
Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I thought it was gonna be another thing where Arteta gets close and then in the final few games he bottles it. That didn't happen. As a matter of fact, they started like pumping teams by a lot of goals, and I
Yeah,
was like, including Chelsea. God damn it! And I was
yeah,
just like,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, oh wow, okay, they got something going here.
Mhm.
But City don't lose. When the going gets tough, City goes on very long
Mad
winning
run.
streaks. Think, look at
Yeah,
this. I think it's what, 2 years. Rodri hasn't lost a Premier League game in like 2 years.
yeah. What's the stat again, Bob? Is it 73 matches?
Yeah,
I think it's either 73 or 74, yeah.
that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous, man.
And so it's like, look at when Liverpool won it, they pretty much blitzed the league from early,
Yeah.
and they kept it going. And so it's just, and then when Chelsea won it in the Pep era, you can say he just came in, and so he was still figuring things out.
Hmm.
And so it's like, in order for you to win, in order for you to beat Pep Guardiola, you have to be almost perfect. And I think that's a difficult ask.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get 97 points in the league and not win it. That's crazy. You can't get
Yeah.
93 points, 91 points. You can't get these points totals, and it's like you're still second best. That's like title winning numbers easily. In any other league, you're winning the league.
Do you know what really hurts about this most recent season, ended season?
What's up?
What's that?
The fact that our points tally was the winning total last year.
That
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, 89 points.
Yep, 89, 84.
Oh,
question: did Arsenal have the best defense this season
Yes.
in the Premier
yeah,
League?
We still
yeah,
finished
correct.
with defense and goal. No, goal difference went to City. But yeah,
Yeah,
best
yeah,
defense.
Best
And
the
defense.
best ones.
they scored 5 more than us.
That's crazy. Shit, I'm talking about.
Yeah,
In terms
yeah,
of having to be almost per it's. But do I think it will happen? Because that was your question. Do
yeah.
I think it will happen? Yes. Uh, Arsenal just seem to be getting better. They seem to be
Mm.
making the right signings.
And the right contract extensions.
Yes, could extended
Mm.
Jorginho, and I think me looking at Jorginho, it's like I can understand if you were to sell him on, but I can also understand why you'd keep him.
Mm.
There are
That's
certain
seniority.
there's certain intangibles that Jorginho has that's actually really good. But I do think it's
Mm.
possible that Arsenal win the league next season. I don't want it to happen, but I think it's possible.
Yeah.
I
Okay. Well, if you don't want it to happen and none of us want City to win, then you hurry up then.
Yeah, we need Chelsea to win then. Look, we need
oh
Chelsea
Go
to win.
as Postecoglou said, if you want to stop somebody from winning the league, do it yourself.
yeah, I don't know if Chelsea are going to win the league for a little while. Honestly,
No
I think
worries, no worries, Maury. No worries, Maury.
you're in the top
We'll get to
four.
Chelsea soon.
you think
Well, no, actually, no, I don't think you're in the top four next season because you fired Poch.
yeah.
Don't worry, guys. We're soon getting to Chelsea. We're soon getting to Chelsea. Like,
Okay, all right,
Okay,
cool.
okay.
final statement, Emmanuel. Final question, bro. How do
Mhm.
we beat Manchester City? How? How? I want to ask you, bro.
So rephrase the question. How you be Pep? That's what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, how do you beat?
I mean, as long as that bald-headed man is there, it's not gonna happen. That's how I see it. I don't accept it.
Man, I mean that's crazy, bro. So Bob and Maury saying it's possible, but you're saying it's not possible.
Nope.
You're thinking,
Nope.
wow,
They have the right manager. They have the money. They have the right. They have it all, except fans.
man,
They have
jeez,
it
man, that.
all. What's going to stop them? They're going to find a way to be better. No matter
Hmm.
how much better Arsenal think they're going to get, Man City is going to top it by one. I'm telling you.
Oh man, that
That's just
that must be how Liverpool fans have felt all these years, man. I mean, jeez, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
I
Definitely.
have a friend, and he just stated to me, "Oh yeah, how much on the lose now? Two? All right, five more to go, and you'll know my pain."
yeah. Man, that's crazy. So, I think we're done with City. I guess we can all just summarize City by saying like they're just unbelievable, and yeah.
Yep.
What else can we really say about City? So I guess we're gonna move on to Arsenal. Bob and I spoke a lot about Arsenal. If you guys missed it, viewers, if you guys missed it, Bob and I went in a 3-hour live speaking in depth about Arsenal. So I guess it's time we really focus on the rivals. Like Emmanuel, like what are you thinking about Arsenal? Arsenal, this past season. Like, what are your thoughts, bro?
I won't lie. I love the progress. I mean, it's really nice to see Arsenal back up there again. To be honest, I started watching Premier League around 2006, I think. You know,
Um,
and
wow.
that was after the Invincibles, right? So
Mm,
I heard about the greatness of Arsenal back then. I never get to witness it, but to come close to witnessing, Arsenal being great,
mm.
it's really nice to see. I mean, they're a rival club, but I mean, I love to see the progress because that's why I would love to see Manu rise again. You understand?
Mm,
So, you
Six
know,
is time for the sufferation cycle.
yeah.
yeah. So just to clarify, Emmanuel, you were rooting for Arsenal to win the league out of the three teams that were running for the title.
Yes, I was. I knew it wouldn't happen,
That's
but I was.
madness.
More says some madness, but come on, no. As a Manchester United fan, like from his perspective, you have Arsenal, right? You have Manchester City, your local rivals, and then you have
Yes.
Liverpool, historic rivals. So
Uh,
That's fair.
at one point, I was rooting for Liverpool, but
No, that's crazy.
no, that's crazy.
I
No,
don't know about
seriously,
that.
no, because I don't know, because I read club, and
Oh
especially when
wow.
I heard it would be his last season, a part of me was saying,
Like a bit of fairy tale about it.
because at one point Liverpool were
Mm.
looking like the team, At one point, I was saying, wait, Liverpool, they look like they can win the title, and then they just drop. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
Darwin Nunes and company,
yeah.
man. I mean, if you want to talk about a team that bottled it last season, talk about Liverpool. Liverpool had it in their hands, I believe. I believe Liverpool had it in their hands, and we'll be talking about them next in about, back to Arsenal. I mean, Murray. I mean, you have seen Arsenal, your London rivals. Like, like we're thinking about Arteta, like Arteta and his progress. The past 4.5 years, especially last season. Like what your thoughts about Arsenal, unbiased speaking.
It's interesting to see.
Mm.
It it's actually kind of cool to see because
Okay.
I remember when he first, shocked. But I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. When he first came, we know how well that went, and we're just kind of going, yeah, Arsenal got it wrong again. Gonna have to sack him. Gonna see if they can try and find somebody better. And then your owners were like, nah, we're gonna keep him and we're gonna back him. And we're gonna see where this goes. And I can remember you guys went on a very bad run. I think it ended with you guys losing 1-0 to Everton. You remember that year? You guys
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was a start of the COVID season. We lost against Brentford. We lost against Everton, and we lost against another team. Bob, remind me, please.
Was it,
might have been Wolves.
Yeah, I think it was Wolves. Yeah, we lost the first 3 games, and we were like right above relegation, I believe. I think we're in like 17th or something.
yeah, I remember, and it was great for banter. But
Mm.
in terms of like looking at Arsenal, I was just like, my gosh,
Mm.
man, they got to do something about it, and they stuck with him. And fair play
Yeah.
for doing that. And you could not only see the progress in the team, but you could see it in the
Mm.
results, which was a key difference. First season, he won the FA Cup against Chelsea. But anyway, won the FA Cup. Um, then that was an eighth place finish. Then he finished, I think, eighth again, and then fifth, even though you guys should have been in the Champions League. And after that, it was second, and now second again. I know you kind of go, oh, okay. You look at the trajectory of Arteta, and you go, yeah, this guy is in like prime Premier League winning management form. It's interesting to see, and the reason why I said it's cool to see because it's different from a city where there's this cloud of uncertainty in terms of how they managed to get there. Obviously,
Yeah.
Arsenal spent money, right, and
Mm.
quite a bit of it as well. But in terms of it was smart decision making.
Mhm.
Arteta had a lot of deadwood to get out of the club,
Mm.
and I think the first couple signings he made didn't go well. He had to like kick out Aubameyang. Nicola Pepe didn't do so well, that kind of thing. But he
Oh
got it,
God, Lillian and David Luiz.
yeah.
Yeah.
But eventually, he got it right, and big up Edu, the sporting director, uh,
Mm.
who worked with him, and they got in the signings, and now it's like you guys still need more experience in the Champions League, obviously, but
Yeah, definitely.
you're getting there. You guys ended up in what, the quarterfinals it was?
Yeah. Yeah. Quarters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're getting there, and you can see the trajectory, this upward take of Arsenal going back to where Arsenal, used to be.
Mm.
And as a football fan, I think it's cool to see.
Mm.
As a Chelsea fan, especially with how we've been doing, it's like it's just one of the worst things to see. And not just because of the rivalry, because
Mm.
I know Arsenal fans. This is why I didn't want you guys win the league. Arsenal fans will make a mile out of an inch. Oh my days.
I can't disagree with you, bro. I can't. Sometimes, I think our fan base is really, it's really something else, man. I mean, I think even Bob would agree to a certain extent. I mean, Arsenal fans can be
Listen,
over the top. I can't lie sometimes. Yeah.
okay, listen. Me and Prestige are in a group, right? Yeah, the Arsenal Jamaica group. Trust me,
Yeah.
when I say they have to put me on a leash sometimes when I go on my rants because I I am the resident madman in there. I talk with sense, but sometimes I'm gone too far. You see me? Like
I
yeah,
could I couldn't bear if Arsenal win the league hearing things like, "Oh, Arsenal are now the best team in the world,"
I
because I
would
know
never.
that I you might not say that, but I know it would come up.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some people who say that.
Hearing going online and hearing things like "God is a gooner," that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Okay.
yes. I saw that video. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, that's mad.
Listen,
It's
I
just like
dare not say out of my Arsenal mouth, we are the greatest team in the world. Post, hopefully, winning a Champions League and a Premier League within the next 2 years. I look up and I think about saying that, and I see Real Madrid towering over everybody and
Yeah,
looking down at the bunch of peasants. That's what I see forever. Because how do you catch up to 15? Closest is 7.
goddamn.
yeah. I mean, trust me. I mean, for the Champions League final. I mean, we can do
14.
we can do a whole show. We can do a whole show and whole preview for that. I mean,
Yeah, the
I
Champions League
mean,
final. When
yeah.
is it? Next Sunday?
I
Yeah.
think
I think
next
it's
week,
next. I think
next
it's next week.
Saturday.
I think it's next Saturday, right?
Yeah, not the
First.
Saturday coming, but the weekend after. I think.
Yeah,
Right?
the weekend after. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, guess what? I mean, we can all meet up and probably go to Traxton Records and watch it. I mean, definitely.
Rooting for Dortmund.
Oh, big
Yeah, we're
time.
rooting for Dortmund. Yeah, I'm rooting for Dortmund.
Yep.
Trust me.
Want
Like,
Yellow
we
one.
want a new
Yep.
champion.
I
I
mean, yeah, I'm tired of this whole Real Madrid dominance, and I'm somebody who actually has a lot of time for Real Madrid, but at the same time, like, I want the underdog to win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Have
bro.
you
Imagine,
always,
imagine if they won a 15th Champions League. That would be
yeah, Brian.
it loses the luster.
Of it. I
yeah,
agree, Brian. Brian, as you know, I also quite love Real Madrid.
yeah.
Well, more I hate Barcelona.
Same,
That
same,
that drove me
same,
towards Real Madrid. Oh my days.
same, bro.
But I also really quite like Dortmund for the same reason. I
Yeah.
really don't like Bayern. And so I
I
really like Dortmund. And so, it'd be cool to see them win it. They haven't been in a final since 2013 when they lost to Bayern,
Yeah.
and then they won it in what 1997, I think it is.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a win. So it'd be cool to see.
That'd be nice. I agree, man. That'd be pretty cool. But Immanuel, what do you think about Arsenal? I mean, Arsenal. I mean, the season that's just done. What are you thinking, man? About Arteta, about how much he has grown the squad. Like, what do you think about Arsenal?
I mean, it's evident Arsenal has been better under Arteta for sure.
Mm.
For sure. I mean, you know, he's a guy that I remember when he just started, man, I was saying, yo, this is not going to end well under Arteta. And the fact that,
Whoa.
no, because I'm telling you, so many
Mm.
people, you see, there's so many people who were rooting for Arteta to be out, praising him now. I have to laugh, I have to really laugh. But I won't lie, at one point I was giving up on Arteta. Like, I don't think this man is right, man. That's what I was thinking. He's not getting things right when he just started. But I mean, the club back him and look at him now. I mean, I have full community, to be honest. It's really nice to see. I can't go around it. I see progress, and that's good. I mean, look at where coming second 2 times in a row, but I mean, progress is progress still, I mean, progress is progress. Can't go around it.
Okay. I mean, Bob, I have a question for you, bro. Like,
Yep.
I mean, Arteta has been doing it very well, but I mean, at what point is a cutoff point? He has failed to win the Premier League a few times now. He doesn't do well in domestic cups. How much more time does he need to really win? The major honors. Like, in your opinion, I mean, one FA Cup is not bad. Two Community Shields not bad, but at the same time, I mean, no Champions League, no Premier League. What are we thinking, bro?
Okay, so this is a personal timeline. So for the Premier League and for the Champions League differently, the domestic cups, I expect him to at least get one or two of them in the next 2 years. Get 1 to 3, whatever it is. I'm not talking about the Shield. I expect to win the Shield as long as we're in it. I'm talking about FA and League Cup. And if it's anything, I want the FA Cup because we're the holders in terms of the tally. And United, reason being why I want United to kind of lose, is because, well, there's two reasons. I don't want you to get closer to us in the count. We're 15 and we're 14 and you're 12.
14, yeah.
14 and 12. I don't want them any closer until we get to 15. And also, I want City to win so we can go to the Shield and start the season with silverware. But for the Premier League, I'll give him. He has to win it next season. Personally, he has to win it next season. The Champions League, if he wins the Premier League, it gives him 2 more years to win the Champions League. It's how I look at it. Because you've won a major honor, it gives you a bit more time to try and get a different major honor. But in that period of time, you also need to go ahead and try and win as many trophies as possible, utilizing the squad that you have, which is still, as much as he's improved on that portion of his managerial strengths versus weaknesses, that has improved. It is still not his best attribute. His use or utilization of the squad. Fabio Vieira, back from injury, underused. Smith Rowe, back from injury, showed a few great cameos. A man of the match performance in the Premier League, benched.
Yeah.
It's not a good look over time, and I understand in the second half of the season, the run-in, you do not expect players like that who are out of the team for that long to actually really be the guys who help on that back end of the season to push for a title. But to stamp down my answer, yes. So for the Premier League, I give him until next season. And if he wins it, I'll absolve any sins of not winning the FA Cup or the League Cup, and I'll give him 2 more years to win the Champions League if he wins the Premier season.
Okay. Well, there you have it, guys. Bob says 1 final season to win the Prem, and if he does win the Prem, he has about 2 more seasons to win the Champions League. Maury, I have something to ask you. Kai Havertz, 60 million down the drain or not? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about Kai Havertz for Arsenal, and what are the differences between Kai Havertz for Chelsea and Kai Havertz for Arsenal? Like what are your thoughts, bro?
I think it shows you how much being in a settled team affects you. I think, Kai Havertz, when he came to Chelsea, it was the beginning of the madness. I think he came to Chelsea right after the transfer ban. I think it was. Yeah, because it was with Frank Lampard. So he came right after that moment. And then after Frank Lampard, we went into the managerial merry-go-round once again. And so he never really got settled. To be fair, I still think that, I'd prefer that 60 mil over having Kai Havertz. Because, yeah. Where do you guys think is his best position?
I mean, I would say striker. What do you think, Bob?
Behind the striker. But of course, that doesn't really make any sense considering he is the starting striker. So what I really mean by that is behind, in a sense, playing a false role and having someone fill in front of him. Then he comes forward back into the striker role. So basically shadow striker.
Okay.
Yeah, shadow striker, like his Leverkusen days. But unfortunately for Kai Havertz, Arsenal doesn't use a shadow striker.
Yeah, we don't use cam, so we don't have a cam.
We don't have a cam either. So we use 2 8s and we use 2 8s, a left 8 and a right 8, and Kai Havertz in the left 8 hasn't really been that great compared to him being as our false 9 centre forward kind of thing.
There were 1 or 2 good games when he was in the midfield. The game against Manchester City, he was at striker, but there was portions of the game he was slotting into the deeper role, and it allowed people like Odegaard to be more forward And you saw like not really his defensive capabilities, but his physical capabilities really put to the test against the Manchester City midfield. Rodri having a hard time with him. Not hard time, but actually having to put in effort against somebody in the midfield. Rodri had to do. Bullying defenders has become his clear pastime. I don't know why he's hanging around Ben White so much. But it's fine. It's fine. I don't mind having a couple villains in the team. That's fine. Yeah, he can play in the midfield, but not as that deep left eight. It's not going to work.
I think at Chelsea, we never found a place for him. So, so it's like we stuck him everywhere, right wing, left wing, in an 8 position. We stuck him at striker as a 10. For Germany, he played left back. It's like he never
scored.
he did score, didn't he? He never quite know, or at least when it's at Chelsea, never quite knew where to put him. One thing with Kai Havertz as well is that for some reason, at the second half of the season, he always lights up. I don't get it. From like Leverkusen days, second half of the season, he becomes King Kai. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I'd still rather, because a big comparison that people have been having to try and jab at Chelsea is, oh, look at, you sold Kai and now you got Nicholas Jackson, and Nicholas Jackson's been missing big chances and this and that and that. But I mean, Nicholas Jackson finished the season with more goals than Kai Havertz, and if he didn't miss the massive amount of chances that he did, which were ridiculous, he would have been clear. So it's like I don't miss him. It's fine. Even if he does well for Arsenal, I don't miss him.
Wait, one second. Jackson. Oh wait, how many goals did Jackson get?
14.
What?
He had 14 goals in the Premier League.
I find that hard to believe.
You can go check.
Let's check transfer market. I'll check transfer market.
He was like one off. His goal was 15 for the Premier League, and he was like one off of it.
My God.
Sure 14 goals in the Prem. I'm almost sure. 17 goals. 17 goals in all competitions.
It's hard to see that, considering any time, even when you're winning games. Okay. I guess in that Cole Palmer run, it makes sense. And then the late hat trick. Was it a hat trick?
Against Spurs?
Yeah. It makes sense if you add those up. But what? I mean, in Kai's defense, Arteta was forcing him to play out of position because, our manager is really stubborn and trying to make things work, and then milking every sense of, it's almost like Arteta is actively researching while he's putting people out on the pitch. And it's not fun to watch, especially when you're losing 2-0 to Villa, 1-0 to Villa, 2-0 to West Ham. Yeah, it's not fun when you're saying just shoot, please just shoot, stop trying to get the ball in the box, please shoot. Like,
you check that stat, Brian?
Yeah, bro, it's correct. It's actually correct. It's crazy.
14 goals correct. And I think like 5 assists.
Yep, you're right. Look on the screen right now. 14 goals, 5 assists.
19 goal contributions in the league. That's not bad for your first season.
Yeah,
that's better than Drogba's first season, by the way.
Yes. I've heard that as well.
Still lost by 1 goal contribution to Kai, though. So, yeah.
but the point is, it's close.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
you're right.
And Jackson cost, I think it was like 35 mil. So it's
35 mil, yeah.
It's pretty much the same amount of goal contributions and 30 million in the bank. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Kai Havertz has more game winners. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
By the way, none of those 14 goals are penalties.
Yeah, that's impressive. Well, I mean, I don't expect him to get any, to be honest. So
because of Cole Palmer, yeah. But when a striker, has 14 goals, you'd expect that at least some of them are pens. 14
Nope.
Yeah,
20 goals in
so
a season, that's pretty good.
it's true. It's true that actually is pretty good, and it just goes to show that it's just so misleading because Nicholas Jackson actually had a decent season, but people just haven't really paid attention to him.
How many games did he play? 35?
Yeah, I
You were
think
saying?
you can check to see how
35
much.
games?
It was around
I think that's
35.
35.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's 35. Yeah, 35 games. Yeah,
Not bad.
Yeah,
I
not
played
yeah.
bad.
37. So in comparison, yeah, it's technically better. A better return on paper, yes. It doesn't look good
Hmm.
in terms
Because
of the amount of shot volume. The shot volume was the problem.
he kept
Because
missing.
Kai takes way less shots.
Yeah,
But of course, he plays a completely different way. But it's hard to compare players at the end of the day.
the thing is,
Um,
I think a lot of people they don't watch Nicholas Jackson. If you watch Nicholas Jackson, first of all, I just want to say this. You know,
Hmm.
Nicholas Jackson is one of the only strikers I've seen that made Saliba look like he wasn't a top defender. I
yep.
mean, we did lose that game, so for what it's worth. But
Hmm. Yeah.
that near post chance that he should have scored and missed, Saliba got rinsed, and that is what Jackson gives you. He is on the ball. He's such a good dribbler, and his hold up play to keep the ball and push it forward is very very good. Now, when he's in the final third, that is where the problem lies because he'll either miss the shot or the final ball will be either underweighted or overcooked or one of those things. But if it's just like there are things that he needs to hone, and if he can, he's easily scoring 20 goals a season.
Hmm.
And I think that's good. It's his
Yeah.
first season back. He's 22 years old, and so I think we should give him time. But it's not the Nicholas Jackson part of the
Yeah.
line
Yeah.
right now.
Definitely.
It's the
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the yeah, it's the Kai part, and I think Kai has been good for
Yeah.
you guys, but I don't miss him.
So is it fair to say that that transfer worked for both parties,
Yeah.
Yeah,
as in
yeah,
Chelsea and Arsenal? Yeah.
Yeah. Chelsea gets to recoup just 10 mil short of the original fee. And help the balancing of their books. Good for them, but also clearing out what would you say a one of the million scapegoats that was in that team. Um, for,
yeah.
for the state that it was in. Obviously, I'm not saying it's just him, but and I'm not saying that it was just up to the scapegoat debacle that was going on with blaming everyone.
Right.
But it works for both. We get a extremely like a very good utility player that Arteta can do whatever he wants with. He doesn't have to play much striker next season. If we do get a striker, who knows? Kai probably goes right back into that 8 position,
Mhm.
or what I'm expecting in terms of an evolution is it's going to sound weird, but I'm going to expect a constant shift between a 1 in front of a 2 DMs and 2 CMs in front of the 2 8s in front of the 6. I'm expecting like constant changes in midfield next season in terms of game phase and also opponents. And in that sense, I think Kai is going to get more games at a more natural position, one being the 1 in front of the 2.
Hmm.
And Odegaard will be playing probably sometimes a deeper role, an actual like deep lying playmaker if anybody plays Football Manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, that role. Yeah, so there are
So
going to be changes. I think it benefits both parties, though, the Kai Havertz transfer.
awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And I agree. I agree. I think you're spot on, Immanuel. So,
Mhm.
what do you think Arsenal needs to do to possibly win the league? I know you said
Oh,
that once Pep is here, it's almost impossible, basically.
yeah.
But what do
But
you think Arsenal
you
can
guys need
do?
a striker though. You guys need a proper striker
Hmm.
for
Like what
sure.
striker? Like what striker do you think is the best suited for Arsenal's playing style, or you
Mm,
think Arteta could get the best out of?
mm. I never thought about that, you know. Um, I think it would be really good if it's a player that's already playing in the Premier League.
Mm.
I don't know who. I'd have to look into that.
Well, I'll give you a few options. You have Dominic Solanke, you have, Alexander Isak, you have,
Yes, Ishak. That's it. That's the one that came to mind. I think he'll be the best fit in my eyes.
or you think Isak could be the best.
Yeah, yeah.
So okay, so if Isak does, hypothetically come to Arsenal, like like how well do you expect him to perform? Like, give me an idea of like how many goal contributions would be good for like Alexander Isak if he came to Arsenal, like a successful season.
All right. This season, I mean, he plays for Newcastle and he got what, 21 goals? Premier League
Check
goals?
that real quick. Check Isak real quick. Let's check Isak real quick. All right, Alexander Isak. He got 21 goals, 2 assists. Wow, I mean that's actually crazy stats in 30 appearances. So he
He's
have
a
22 goal
baller. He's a
22
baller.
goal
He's a baller,
contributions in 30 appearances. That is actually crazy.
with an injury.
Yeah, I was
And
about to say.
he was injured for part of the season. Yeah,
yeah,
that's actually crazy.
Can't
Yeah.
remember
So
Van
you think?
Persie. Can't
Wow.
remember. Yeah, in the way that kind of injury prone, but at the end of the day, he's quality. Man can get goals. I mean, if he comes to a team like Arsenal that can provide more chances, those 21 goals can turn into 30 goals. I'm dead serious.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
That doesn't sound fair to anybody. And I'm talking about the people coming back up into the Premier League. Ipswich Town is dead, if that's the case. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're not I don't think Ipswich is going to be like Luton.
Wow.
Luton was a surprise. Everybody went there. It was a tough game. Obviously, in the second half of the season, that wasn't the case. But that first half, nobody knew what Luton was. Was a welcome surprise to say, oh, this promoted team really has some grit about them. Or something about them, something of excitement to say they're not just going to roll over like Sheffield did all season. But yeah, yeah, Isak, sure, but I have my problems. You can finish up your point, and I'll say my piece afterwards.
So
yeah. I mean, would it? I mean, it will help you guys come closer to City, but I still think you guys might probably fall short. He won't be the only one to solve the problem. If that's, I'm not saying that, but in terms of developing the whole, I mean, a better squad. I think Isak is a good start when it comes to getting a striker for sure.
And Murray, who do you think is Arsenal's player of the season? I mean, who do you think? Like, I mean, I know that you focus on Chelsea. I know you haven't seen much of Arsenal, but I know you must have an idea. There's just a vague idea. Like, who you think is Arsenal's best player? The season just on pass.
It's a very good question. Declan Rice is definitely up there. I think I've always been somebody who loves defensive-minded midfielders.
Yeah, I know that. I know that's about it for sure.
Yeah, and I always think that they don't get the praise that they deserve. And coming from a team where we had the likes of like Makalele and N'Golo Kante, like I can appreciate a good defensive midfielder. Declan Rice is incredible, man. Like he's a very, very good footballer, and having him in your midfield has definitely been for the better. Again, I've watched some of Arsenal. I haven't watched much, so I don't want to like say something that's like rubbish or like chat out of thin air, right? Because
just put a disclaimer. The disclaimer is there already, bro.
Yeah, because I don't know if like Odegaard has been like absolutely incredible or if he's been regular Odegaard, which is still pretty damn good. I know Martinelli and Saka probably haven't lit up the stage this season as they did last season. I think that's fair.
Well, definitely Martinelli definitely has got like half the GA. Bob and I went through that. He got half the GA that he got the previous season.
Yeah,
And as for Saka, his GA has been very good, but certain performances he hasn't been really good.
right. But
Mm,
I'd say your player of the season
mm.
is William Saliba.
Wow, William Saliba.
I think
Mm,
when the hype of Saliba first came up,
mm,
I was like, here we go again with the Arsenal fan delusion. Man has one good
mm,
season in France, and you think he's gonna bust the Premier League, and then
mm.
he came on bust the Premier League, and I was like, oh, okay, that shut me up. Then
Oh man.
he's been really really good. He's such a calm and composing figure in the back line. It's ridiculous. I think
Mhm,
your centre back partnership of Saliba and Gabriel is very very good. I'm gonna pip it Saliba though because I like the way that he defends and
mm,
his passing from out the back is pretty good. So I chopped up between those two, Saliba and
mm,
Declan Rice. I don't know if there's like a clear person that I'm missing out. I
mm.
don't know what the Arsenal. I don't know what you guys are gonna say if there's like somebody that I'm clearly missing out. But I'm gonna go for those two. I think those two have been very good. And Pipit, Saliba.
Yeah. Bob. I know we spoke about this previously, in the prayer pod. But just to reiterate for anybody who hasn't seen it, who do you think is Arsenal's player of the season?
I think I came to a conclusion it was Declan Rice, but my dark horse was Trossard.
Yes, Trossard had an excellent season. Excellent season.
I think I had settled on Declan Rice for the reason being we didn't buy him for goals and assists. He did what he was supposed to be doing.
Mm,
Gave us a number eight profile inside, what pocketed with a number six, like high capabilities of a number six.
mm,
But at the same time, there was even sections where he was slotting in between the two center backs or subbing in for the two center backs in terms of like in during breaks of play. That Liverpool game where it was him versus the world comes to mind, and everybody's talking about he didn't do anything. And I'm like, you being one defender there means something in the run of play because they have to think about you being there. He's in the line of run for Salah. And Salah decided I could beat him, but I just decided to pass. Trent missed. So yes, Rice did something.
mm,
Um, I decided that yeah, he was definitely my player of the season because of him not only doing all these things, but then he just started scoring goals and giving me assists, and I'm like, what's going on? That's not what we buy you for. And then I think I said to you that it felt like we paid less than 105 mil for him, like
yeah,
half that. It
yeah.
felt like we got him for like 50 mil, and it's ridiculous. Like it, I think about. I legitimately forgot how much we paid for him at one point in the second half of the season because I was like, this guy is not just worth 105 million pounds. This is ridiculous, and he's proven himself to be, at the very least, an 80 mil, a truly 80 million pound plus player. Let's just say that worth every single penny. So yes, and
Yeah, yeah.
Trossard, Mr. Clutch himself, Trossard. Yeah.
Emmanuel, you have the final say when it comes to Arsenal. Player of the season. What are your thoughts, bro? Who do you think is a player of the season for Arsenal?
Mm. Player season. I don't know. I have previous conversation with you. I know where I rate Trossard when it comes to coach. I think I
Yeah,
expressed that to you already. But
yeah.
you see, if he, you know, if he got more games, I don't know what he would have done with it. But I have to look at the
Mm.
bigger picture, and that's why I would have to say Rice and Bob. What's Bob?
Yeah,
Bob,
Bob. Yeah.
Bob said it best. The way how he did more than what was expected, and that's why I give it to him.
There we go. There we go. So, 2 votes for Declan Rice. Well, I mean, three if you include me, and 1 vote for William Saliba, who I think is a very good shout and is definitely a candidate for player of the season for sure. Oh well, guys reached 1/3 We covered like 1/3 of the team so far. We covered two teams. So let me look at the chat. Paulo Jack says Arsenal and Arteta are overrated. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. That's a very interesting statement. I
I don't know about that.
I would like if you could unpack that for us, Paulo Jack. Not too sure about that. Queen Ash is saying, not gonna lie, FA Cup finals might see Man City winning, especially with the drama of ETH Erik ten Hag leaving. Well, I mean, there are rumors that Eric might be leaving, Ten Hag might be leaving, but it's not confirmed as yet. But we'll see.
There's even word that it doesn't even matter what happens. He's probably still gonna get fired, which is ridiculous to me because it's like, bro, I qualified for a European competition if I win the cup, and I still get fired.
If that happens, by the way, that's the second time Manchester United have done that because they did it with Louis van Gaal.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Ah, man. I mean,
I
we'll see.
completely
We'll see.
forgot that the FA
Yeah,
Cup was
yes.
a free Europa League spot. I'm like, yo, if you
Yeah.
don't fit in those European spots, it's a free Europa League. I'm like,
Yeah. Queen Ash also saying, as for PL, as for the Premier League, City is lucky to afford the best. United is a shell of its former glory. Gunners will always and forever be trash. Chelsea is mid, and Liverpool is becoming mid. I can see Queen Ash has a strong hatred for Arsenal. It seems.
So
I'm not
first
sure.
fan, innit?
sound like a
Is it
United.
She's not like a United fan or a Spurs fan. I mean,
Them exist?
well, I don't think Spurs fans exist. It's probably a United fan.
I'm one Spurs fan, I know, and I'm an anti. That's it.
Jano.
man, you see, exactly.
It's only one Spurs fan I know, and I call him an idiot every day.
Wait, does everybody just know one Spurs? Because I only know one Spurs fan.
I don't know one Spurs fan too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, that's crazy. Man,
Jamaica.
yeah, I feel like there's only like a handful of Spurs fan in Jamaica for real. Like, I mean, come on, no, I mean, how do you wake up and say, you know what, I'm gonna support Spurs? I mean, but we'll get to Spurs eventually. But I mean, something tells me that'll be a very short conversation. But we move. Queen Ash is also saying La Liga is becoming a farmers' league with Real Madrid winning. PSG is barely holding on to its players' ego. Queen Ash, please unpack that. Please unpack that. What do you mean? Barely holding on to his players' ego. Like, I really want you to unpack that. But yeah, she's saying a lot, but she hates Arsenal, and she's thinking La Liga is becoming a farmers' league.
I think that PSG comment is interesting because
yeah,
they're seemingly moving away from getting like the big superstar.
yeah, the
They're
Galacticos and everything.
Yeah, they're moving away from that to more. I think more like a 25 under type of model. They're trying to build a team.
Like Epstein Island kind of vibe.
Whoa. No, they're trying to.
Oh dear, wrong shot, bro. Wrong shot.
Okay, DiCaprio.
Oh wow, they're trying to go for they're trying to go for like a fairly younger team that they can
yeah,
grow. Yeah, I think they were thinking of building it around Mbappe. You know how that's gone. So in terms of ego, I think a lot of ego is being filtered out of that club. I don't know where it's gonna take them, but yeah, Neymar is gone, Ibra is gone from a long time. Mbappe is now leaving, Messi's gone. It's like anybody who had the right to have like a massive ego in that team is now gone or is leaving. So
yeah. I mean, well said. So we have completed the first two teams. We're moving on to Liverpool. Where to start? I'd say let's start with Jurgen Klopp. You know, Jurgen Klopp's legacy. He has officially left the club as at the end of the season. The replacement is Arne Slot. First of all, I want Immanuel. I want you to start off by talking about Jurgen Klopp. Like, how good is Jurgen Klopp, and will he be missed for Liverpool fans? Like, what are your
Oh
thoughts, bro?
yeah, oh yes, he will be missed. I mean, he brought life to Liverpool that I didn't even know Liverpool could get back that life. 'Cause I remember
Mm.
Liverpool was dead, dead. I tell you, and
Yeah.
Liverpool, Klopp brought that back. I mean, I tell you, I rate Klopp because I tell you, I like Dortmund. I rate
Mm.
Klopp from them days. I mean, what you used to call his style of football, like heavy rock football. I mean, the man did
Yeah,
his
metal
thing. The
rock
man,
football. Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
man rival. I mean, the man put competition to Pep that I didn't even expect could have even happened. Beat him as a matter of fact for one season. I mean,
Mm.
but I mean, it was time to be honest. What 9 seasons with Liverpool?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nine
yeah, it
seasons.
was
Yeah.
time. Like, it's the right time to leave. You know, I was thinking about
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger over there. I mean,
Mm.
there's a point where you don't want to stay too long that you ruin your legacy. So
You
that's
become
why
the
I
villain.
definitely agree that he should leave this season. 'Cause I mean,
Mm.
he did his thing. You know, some of his marquee sign. I remember when he signed out. He was the one that brought in Mane. Was it him? He
Yes.
brought
Yeah. Yeah. He did. He did. Yeah.
From
right.
Southampton.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, you know, that was a really good sign to start it. You know, you got
Mm.
Salah. I need to see Mane gone. You know, I see a little follow with Salah this season. You know, I think the signs are just showing. So you know, it's time to leave, and he looks tired. So
Mm.
I don't think he has anything more to offer Liverpool. So it's the right time. I appreciate what he
Yeah.
has done, but
Mhm.
I mean, leaving right now is the right time. That's what I believe.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, in the interview he gave, he also said that he was tired. He said that he was exhausted, and I can
Yeah, yeah.
I can really imagine. Yeah, I mean, he has been challenging Pep for how many years, and most times he has been unfortunately coming second. But yeah, he really revolutionized Liverpool and put them back on the map after about what prior to winning the Premier League, they went about what 30 years or so without a prem. Is that it?
Yeah, roughly around
Yeah, about approximate.
1980 something. Yeah.
Right. So this is the first Premier League win, technically.
Yeah, the first Premier
Yeah.
League win. That's correct. Yeah,
Yeah, because before that it was what, English Premier Division or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So they haven't
So
won it since '92. Yeah.
yeah, it's true. It's true. And Maury, just piggyback on what Emmanuel is saying, like Klopp, like his legacy, like explain to me, like how good is Klopp, how great is Klopp, and how has he really transformed Liverpool in your opinion?
Klopp is incredible, incredibly entertaining football,
Mm,
and he wins with it as well. There was a point
mm,
in time when you went to Anfield and you just know you're not gonna win. You're not picking up 3 points at Anfield, and everybody knew that and accepted that, and it was like, all right, cool, you know. Because I think at the beginning of every season, managers would be like, yeah, 3 points here, 1 point here, da 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 da.
yeah.
And you see Anfield, you just go, all right, no points there, and you move on. You just accept it. He's Jurgen Klopp, man. I can see why he left. I mean,
Mm,
imagine all those years at Dortmund, you being second best because Bayern just kept being over you, and then you left. You come to the Premier League, you build something good at Liverpool, and
mm,
then Pep comes as well, and then goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna dominate this league as well," and you're not gonna get a
mm.
sniff apart from one sneezing. It's just like I'd be tired as well. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, in terms of if I'm thinking of it from like a rival perspective,
Mm,
uh, it it's the possibility of Liverpool not doing well and Chelsea could like get further up in the table, that type of thing. But in terms of Jurgen Klopp leaving, it's
mm,
sad. It's sad to see him go. I always like when the
mm.
best managers are in the Prem, and he's
Yes.
definitely one of the best managers. So I can understand him leaving. I respect his decision. Yeah, but that guy was cool, man. Bit of a prick sometimes, but cool guy.
Man, I call him the master of excuses, but I mean, apart from that, I really liked him a lot. Like, I'm sorry, but this guy had an excuse for nearly everything.
Yep.
But I mean, I truly love this style of play. I loved how he encouraged his players. I love the Champions League win against Tottenham. I love that so much.
Oh
Thank
yes,
you, Jurgen Klopp.
for
Thank
that.
you for that. Murray, Bob, and I are grateful for that. If Spurs won the Champions League, we'd all be
Look,
ah
I can't see
wow.
the sun. I couldn't see the sun anymore.
Yeah, definitely not, man. yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, we'd be hiding, man. I mean, even though there are not many Tottenham fans in Jamaica as we established, but I mean, just the fact that we're representing, London clubs, we're representing Chelsea, and online you just see people are saying, oh, Murray, you're a Chelsea fan. Look, Spurs have won the Champions League. Oh, Bob, you're an Arsenal fan. Oh, Spurs have won the Champions League. I mean, that just online, having to go through all of that, it'd be unbearable, man.
Unfortunately
So
for me, what it would have
yeah,
meant that I would get bullied into oblivion on Twitter. So, because me used to chat off my mouth like enough when it comes to sport on Twitter.
yeah,
Now I've become a bit more civilized on the internets, in the interwebs, but with maturity, of course, that's what
yeah.
happens. But it is what it is. Glad that it didn't happen. Um,
Mm,
not sure the levels of embarrassment that people are comparing it to us talking about X. We don't want Tottenham to win the Champions League, and we'll we'll hope for Arsenal to never be in. There were a few Arsenal AFTV and other groups that were saying that if Tottenham don't win the Champions League, that we'll pray that Arsenal don't ever win the league. Or so. I'm like, what? No, no,
yeah.
that doesn't work. That trade off is too heavy. But yeah, it's thank you, Jurgen Klopp. It's good legacy.
Mm,
I've been following him since Borussia Dortmund because really and truly, I started watching Dortmund Bundesliga before the Premier League. To be honest, I don't
wow.
know how.
Mm.
I think it's Fox Soccer Plus. So
Oh, wow. Yeah. Fox
yeah,
Soccer has lots of Bundesliga coverage. That's true.
yeah, because obviously, I didn't have when you're younger, your parents have like any type of cable and stuff, and
Mm,
if I watch too much TV and everything. So um, yeah, when I got the chance, I was like, oh, this black and yellow team, these guys, I like their uniforms. This is cool, and I like this guy's football. So yeah,
mm,
it's a good journey along with him. 1, 2 Bundesligas, then here comes Pep. Um,
mm,
yeah, it was a good legacy, and I'm looking forward to what comes afterwards.
mm.
I want Liverpool to stick around the top four, but I
Yeah.
know there will be a drop off with Arnie. I'm not saying Arnie is going to be terrible.
Mm,
I know as the Dutch league expert here, it's
yeah.
going to be a bad signing. Liverpool, something about Liverpool suits the German and the Dutch nationalities for coming in to this club.
Mhm.
For managers or players, I think it just fits them.
Yeah. Yeah. And Murray, a question. Where do you think Liverpool will finish next season? Like, what should be the expectation of Liverpool fans for next season?
Oh my word, what a question. Where should they? I don't know what Liverpool's expectation should be. I mean,
Mm,
it's a new manager.
mm,
It seems like Klopp left in the middle of a rebuild
mm.
because this. I mean, was it last season that Mane left or the season before?
I think the season before.
Before he left, but
Or
like Mane gone, Henderson
Mm,
gone. It's like there are a lot of stalwarts in the what we think of like a classic club team that left,
yeah.
and a lot of them where their presence in the team is not felt like before. Like Andy Robertson, still a great left back, but not like what we were thinking of before when like he and Trent were like competing for top assister in the league, like that type
Mm,
of thing. It's like so he was in the middle of a rebuild. Fabinho left, which nobody saw coming, and they had to
Yeah.
get Endo, and so it felt like, and they got McAllister, so it kind of felt like Klopp was trying to, you know, get a team that either he was just trying to like, I don't think he was trying to end the season like, oh yeah, I'm leaving, so let me just try my best to catch something up somewhere. I think he was trying to be like, well, I need to find a team that they can gel well and they can progress, because I don't think anybody thought Liverpool was going to do as well as they did at the beginning of the season.
Mm.
They got into what was it? They got into a cup final. They got top four, which nobody really saw coming because of the amount of people that left, and we weren't really
Yeah.
sure how things were going. And so we're like, okay, but they did well enough. Maybe not by Klopp's lofty standards, but they did well enough from what we expected. So, in terms of what to expect, I haven't watched much of. Was it Fenerbahce? That's where Arne Slot is. Where's Arne Slot coming from?
Feyenoord.
Feyenoord, sorry, yeah.
Mm.
Coming from Feyenoord, I haven't watched much Eredivisie, but based on what I'm seeing, you watch tactical breakdowns, that type of stuff. It seems like it's not like a mismatch in terms of him coming in and the players he has and the style that they're already used to. In some way, there's obviously some differences, but I think I wouldn't be. I can't expect Liverpool to be like, yeah, let's get Champions League football. I think the players might want it because that's what they're used to. But I would say they probably should get to another cup final, and they should probably try to finish top five. I think that's what they should aim for. We don't know what.
Well, with the whole top five thing, it all depends on who makes deep cup runs for the English if you get a fifth spot. So
True,
next
that's
season,
true. So it could be Champions League football.
just
Maybe.
look at how well Italy has done for themselves. They're damn near going to have almost 10 teams in Europe next season.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. It's true.
Everybody's helping everybody out over there.
Yeah. I mean, Atalanta. I mean, whew. I mean, Lookman killed Leverkusen. I
Isn't
thought
that
they
crazy?
were called Never Losing. I thought they were called Never Losing, man. But I mean, I was shocked.
Yep.
Really
Complete
good match.
devastation.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
I'm gonna go
Mhm.
cup,
Mhm.
win a cup, and fifth place as like the beginning of a project.
And for you, Bob.
I'm going to say League Cup, Carabao, whatever it's called. Probably the next energy, probably Red Bull Cup next season. I don't know. Whatever. Like a sponsorship name. And scraped fourth place.
All right. So you and Morris saying the same thing. A cup and fourth place. Top four. Immanuel, what are your expectations for Liverpool? What do you think Liverpool fans should really have expecting a reasonable expectation? What do you think, bro?
Fifth place, not more than that.
Really, fifth place,
Yeah, man.
and any cup run, or like
Nope.
we're saying,
Nope, no cup.
no, no cup. Okay. Whoa,
Yo,
yo, Emmanuel is a savage, man. He said like no cup, man.
Wow.
He said fifth place and that's it. Okay.
Yeah, man.
If there are any Liverpool fans in the chat, just let me know. Just let me know what you think about that thought. What Emmanuel just said. I mean, wow. I mean, personally, I feel like top four. I think is a reasonable expectation. I believe Klopp left a good enough squad for them to get it. But if they don't get it, I still don't think that it's the end of the world. I mean, it's a transformative season. So I mean, give him some time. Let's see what he does. But I mean, context is important. I mean, if he does like, if by Christmas Liverpool is in the bottom half of the table, then questions need to be asked. I think. But other than that, I feel like give him some time.
oh no. If he's in anywhere close to below ninth by Christmas, he's gone. I'm sorry, but you're in the UCL next season, so you you are not that this. It doesn't matter if you're the new manager. Klopp has given you a platform, a good bunch of players that you can mold that are still
Mhm.
fresh mentally. Even Gakpo, Diaz, everybody there right now is still like learning. They're not
Mhm.
setting their ways. Obviously, Salah is not staying. I don't think so, and
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so. Yeah.
Salah is the type of player to really listen to somebody like Slot. And Slot is not
Wow.
a manager that,
Mhm.
from my understanding, he doesn't like those massive personalities. I'm not saying he can't manage big players, but he hasn't managed big players.
Mhm.
Um, he's managed like the up and coming, the Mats Viffas, the Geertrudas, and people like that who are just breaking into the national teams. So he's not had the big player syndrome
Mhm.
deal with as a manager. So I don't think Salah's staying. Maybe it's Saudi, but Liverpool should get some money for him.
Mhm.
Um, I also think that if it's fourth or fifth, he's in a good job in comparison to the rest of the big six. He's in a job that it is very forgiving to be the Liverpool manager in terms of recency because Klopp's first few seasons were, stellar.
Mhm.
Um, Especially the fact that I think he lost a Europa League run in with Sevilla. I don't know if it was the final or semis, and
Yeah. Yeah. I believe it was the final, wasn't it?
it was the final against
Was
Sevilla.
it the
It
final?
might have been a final because if you're talking Sevilla, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it was a final. Yeah, yeah, because Unai Emery won. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
it is a waiting game when it comes to Liverpool. You get more time, I believe. The
Mhm.
most time any of the big six clubs will give a manager is from Arsenal and Liverpool. By track record, obviously, you can't really say
Mhm.
Wenger because that's a completely
Mhm.
different level of time that he
Yeah.
say, and I'm saying that out of respect that somebody like that you don't just throw him out the club and say, "Oh, manager, merry-go-round." You
Mhm.
don't do that. Which we didn't. We severed, but it was amicable. So
Mhm.
he'll get time at Liverpool slot.
Mhm.
Um, he will probably bring at least one player over. I personally would like to have Mats Viffa in my Arsenal team, but he probably is going to take him and
Mhm.
maybe Gertruda to Liverpool
Mhm.
uh, because he's probably going to have Trent play DM
Really, really. So you think Trent is going to move from right back to DM officially,
permanently. Yes, I don't think
permanently?
he's going
Okay,
to be a right back anymore. I'm
that
not
is a
going
very
to be
big
of the
statement.
team, but I think that fixes their issue with the DM long term. He still has age on his side,
Mm.
and eh, he has done it. And in the most recent 2 seasons, he's actually looked better in that position when faced with his defensive duties because defending as a right back on the flanks versus defending in the center of the park is completely different things. For
Yeah.
some Trent, as much as you have pace, doesn't matter. Um, if somebody just plays the ball around you and you've
Mhm.
been beaten, there's an open space and goal. So I think he's going to put him central and get a right back in. But
Mm.
he's got a lot of work cut out for him.
Yeah, yeah. And Murray, Darwin Nunes. What are your thoughts on Darwin Nunes? Some people say that Darwin Nunes is part of the reason him and Luis Diaz why Liverpool battled the league. What are your thoughts about Darwin Nunes? Should they move on from him? Is there better to come from him? Like, what are your thoughts on Nunes, bro?
That's a good question, man. I've heard people call Darren Nunes like the master of chaos. It's like in really chaotic games for Liverpool, he just seems to thrive.
Mm,
Uh, I I don't think I don't think they should get rid of him.
Really?
I don't think they should get rid of him. I think Arne Slot might, based on the fact that he's, didn't recently Darren Nunes like strip all of his Liverpool pictures from his Instagram, and when Klopp was leaving, he was like he didn't clap on the guard of honor or
Yeah,
something. Like
yeah. I think something happened. I think something happened there, bro.
yeah,
Honestly.
he's not the happiest camper right now, but
Mm.
I don't think they should get rid of him. I think when you look at him, you can see there's quality in there somewhere. I don't know who's going to be the one to refine him. I don't know if Slot's going to be that person. Uh, sometimes I have to check back when before he came to Liverpool and go, that season he had was outstanding.
Mm.
But levels, I have to think of levels because
Yeah,
the Premier League is a whole different ball game. But then you
yeah,
think of games like the Newcastle game where he came on and scored the 2 goals and
yeah. That
won
was
it.
brilliant.
Yeah, that's incredible. And then you think of
Mm.
that and you go, yeah, that's somebody you want on your team.
Mm.
So I think they should keep him, but I don't think it's a forever thing. I think you give him this next season. He's been in the Premier League, I think 2 seasons now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give him another season to see are you going to shape up or are you going to keep on being somebody who's erratic and unreliable, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, they should keep him, but I think Liverpool should probably start looking for a striker that's going to be a bit more reliable, somebody who's going to get them 20 goals a season consistently. Watch me say this, and then Darwin bangs in 25 goals next season. Watch that. But yeah,
Yeah.
Listen, you never know. Maybe with a system change or a midfield change, boom.
Mm.
yeah, exactly. So that's why we should keep him for the season and see how it goes.
Immanuel, bro. So I want to know: do you think Salah is really leaving this summer, or do you think he has one more season in Liverpool colours? What are you thinking, bro?
Yeah, I think he's closer out than Stain.
Hmm.
And I think you should leave.
Hmm.
I mean, Salah used to be that guy. I mean, the team used to heavily rely on him, to always
Hmm.
get that goal. I don't think he can do it like what he used to. You understand?
Hmm.
He looks a bit uncomfortable in the Liverpool
Hmm.
squad of late. And I think it would be okay if he left. You understand?
Hmm.
I think he should, to
So
be
you think?
honest.
So you think a Saudi move is on the horizon?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go. There you go. Bob, what you thinking? Salah's last season, or does he have one more season?
No, I think he goes.
Hmm.
Proper generation. Multiple reasons why. Um,
Hmm.
and of course, the whole contract role between him and Mane is still something that is kind of a plague. Obviously, he got the money and Mane left, but I still do think it's a problem. How much more money do you give a player like this
Hmm.
uh, uh, for X performances? So I'm not saying he's playing badly, of course not, but he has become a bit of a toxic um, existence in the Liverpool club. I don't mean that
Yeah.
he's a terrible person or anything of the sort. I mean, he is one of the only remaining players in that team,
Hmm.
whereas I believe he needs to leave for the team to complete its the recycling process that it's going through, or the revival, um, or the rest. Let's just call it a reset. So I think he needs to go for their reset to work.
Hmm.
Um, and give people, like I said, the Darwin, Gakpo, Luis, Jota, even. And
Hmm.
I could probably even see him and Jota leaving, but that's a stretch because that's a whole dent in Liverpool's attacking options. So I
Yeah.
think Salah will go.
Well, I must say I agree as well. I think Emmanuel is right. I think it's there. I think Salah is closer to leaving than staying. Um, But I must say, I'm worried. One last thing to end up the end the Liverpool discussion. For Liverpool, I wanted to just name one signing Liverpool needs. Just one signing to really have a good season next season. What do you think they need the most?
They need Moises Caicedo.
What?
That's what they need. But they're not gonna get him because we got him.
Whoa! Shots fired. You see,
Wait,
shots
okay.
fired.
No, but in all seriousness, Caicedo
Hmm.
has been absolutely incredible.
Hmm.
I don't know. Endo hasn't been bad.
Hmm.
He hasn't been bad. He's really grown into the season as well. I thought it was going to be like a banter signing, but it hasn't been.
Hmm.
Who do they need? First of all, well, one thing I don't think they should. I don't know if Liverpool should even give up Salah. To be honest with you,
Wow.
I mean, 28 goal contributions in the season. It's hard to give up 18 goals, 10 assists, even
Hmm.
if like he's in the last year of his contract, probably wants to leave. It's probably the best time to sell him because I don't know if
Hmm.
he's going to renew the contract. He might want to leave. So
Hmm.
it's probably the best time to sell him. But I mean, Salah gets you goals, man. He gets you assists as well. Like he's a baller. And maybe keeping him for the season might be that quote unquote signing that
Hmm.
they need to keep. But outside of that, I think they need a DM.
Okay,
I
so
think
you'd say DM. You say DM is their most important role to fill.
yeah. I think McAllister and he needs freedom.
Hmm.
I don't think he gets as much as he probably should do.
Hmm.
And we've seen what a baller is. We've seen the wonder goal that he scored.
Oh,
Uh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a baller, man. But like,
Yeah, he is. He is.
need somebody who's gonna be able to like mop up uh and then protect that back line.
Hmm.
Because I don't know how long you think Van Dijk has left.
Yeah, I mean that is a very good question as well, bro. I thought Van Dijk was finished the prior season,
Yeah,
and
but he
then
came back.
this season he came back and he showed that he's still quality.
Yeah,
And as a Netherlands fan, I love him. I think he's amazing. I think he's a great player. And Bob is also a Netherlands fan as well. So he can also
Comes
speak for Virgil's greatness.
not just Virgil, Cody as well. Obviously, Cody didn't have the greatest of seasons, but
Yeah.
in and out of the team,
Mm,
not not the same like in terms of like match appearances that you really compare somebody like Jota. Jota when he's fit, he's going to start over him. Gakpo having his versatility, being able to go on left wing striker or even central midfield is his saving grace last season.
mm.
I even got any game time. But yeah, Virgil van Dijk was a surprise. Still don't think he deserves to be in the team of the season that they
I
had.
agree. I
Um,
agreed.
I don't know why they're filling quotas and giving out participation medals, but hey, um, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. And so, guys, we have reached halfway through the pod. Viewers, comment, like, subscribe, all those good stuff. Make sure to follow JamCasian on Twitter. Follow Maury on Insta. You can follow Immanuel.
So
Well, Immanuel.
I have no profile, so there's nothing to
Okay,
follow.
okay, okay. Immanuel has no profile, but you can find him here on the brand Prestige channel. I'm pretty sure this is just a first of many. But yeah, we reached halfway. And we reached the sad part of the pod. We're gonna be speaking about Spurs. Spurs. They're a part of the Big Six. A team that I dislike very much, but I need to be impartial as host. And let's talk about Spurs. So Spurs missed out on top four. They had a chance to get top four, but for some reason, well, we know the reason why. They lost against City and Big Ange, Big Ange versus the fans. That was a big thing. City, in that City game. Bob, speak to me about Spurs. Like, what are your thoughts about Spurs and Spurs fans? Lowering the standards for their club and being having a different standard to Ange Postecoglou. Like, what are you thinking, bro?
Absolutely disgusting, mate.
Yo.
Listen, listen.
Yeah.
The man, he said it best. The man said, "I did not know that the foundations at this club were so fragile." Like, what else you need to say? What else do you need to say? But I will say more. They had relatively a good season, I think. Recovering from that, they won the league in September, and then you know,
Damn.
and, and then
Woo!
they went on a very hot and cold mid-season run or
Yeah.
stroll, I guess. And then in the second half of the season, I guess they kind of recovered things enough to salvage them the points to get close to the top four. But I'm sorry, but I will never understand fans not seeing the benefits, because who's to say that them qualifying for the Champions League is the difference between them paying 75 pounds and 120 for a match day ticket? But hey, I hope them charge them out of them. Yeah, them not deserve. Like, I'm not saying that it was their job to beat City or it was their job. Well, we beat City, so I can't put it on us. We did that part, but
Mm.
the the lack of foresight in those players to look at the games and say Villa is comfortable. If look at Villa getting 5 love on the last day, they did not care because they know Spurs can't catch us. They already lost their chance.
Yeah.
It's so hard to talk about them because you don't know what the ethos is at that club. What is their goal? To finish top four? No, the goal of that club is to finish above Arsenal. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Like, I can't talk about them, and that's why I truly cannot see them as a big six. And I'm glad a team like Villa and Newcastle are back into conversation, because now you can say, okay, two teams that have Champions League history, one being a double winner in Villa, or no, single winner. Forest
No,
has
single
two.
winner, yeah. For first of two, yes, correct, yeah.
Right, right. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, good. And I hope Villa stay around the top six, top seven next season as well. Spurs,
Yeah.
on the other hand, I don't know how you fix a team like that, because it is all the way to the core that you have to dig up and really find the problems.
Mm.
Even down to the owner, Levy. Like, he's
Yeah.
just a miserly dude. That's all I see him as, a miserly dude. It's all about the money. The stadium wasn't even built for the purpose of football. It was a revenue generation from concerts. That's the biggest attendance that stadium has.
Yeah.
Concerts. I'm like, the biggest thing to happen in your stadium was Beyonce. I'm like, why? Like, that's. I think
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say. So Hyungmin's son, prior to this season, I felt sorry for him, and I was begging for him to leave and go to Bayern or something last season, start of the season. But
Mm.
he stuck around and took the captaincy. Who knew that Harry Kane would actually go through with it and leave? Um, Van de Ven, I would take Van de Ven from them if I'm going to
Yeah.
pick players out of their team. Van de Ven, Bentancur, two players that I would definitely want in my Arsenal team. He's not Van de Ven's not going to start. Bentancur could get starting time. But
We'll
yeah,
see.
it is an interesting team that they've got there.
Mm.
And I still hate Richarlison to this day.
Yep. I don't like him either.
I don't like anything about him since he's been at Watford. I don't. I don't want to say I don't care about the human side of things and the mental health, but I'm sorry, but it's kind of hard to feel sorry for someone when it comes to their problems when they act like a prick.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that. I feel that. Like. Just to clarify, Bob is saying that mental health is important, but humility is important as well. Like if you see, it's easier to empathize with somebody who is humble. You know what I'm saying? And Richarlison, let's be real, he sometimes is not the most humble. But Maury, like Spurs, I know you don't like Spurs. I know you're a Chelsea fan. You don't too like Spurs, but what do you think about the job that Postecoglou is doing?
Yeah. Oh, great. Now I have to go like say some nice stuff about Spurs. Uh, they started off the season quite strongly. They looked really good, which nobody expected. Everybody was like, Postecoglou, you know, new manager to the league. Nobody had really heard much about him before he came to Tottenham. We're like, a lot of people are predicting Tottenham to finish like mid-table,
Yeah.
which I was hoping for. But they they did really well. They started off really well, and then they got some key injuries. Madison got injured. Van de Ven got injured in that 4-1 Chelsea loss. Um, Udogi got sent off as well that game, and Romero. So that really kind of scuppered. That started the downtrend of Spurs at the time. They kind of
Mhm.
recovered it, and then they went on this terrible run near the end of the season. I
Mm.
mean, they lost 4 games in a row. They lost 5 in 6 when it came down to Man City. So it's like,
Yeah.
when we talk about Postecoglou and what he had said to the fans, like, um, kind of jeering the fans for, not wanting to win because of the rivalry. It's like, bro, I
Mm.
know, I know. In his mind, he's thinking, I gotta get top 4. He wants that Champions League spot, but you
Mm.
lost 4 in a row before that City game.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then the craziest part is when I look at what Spurs fans have been saying, the
Mm.
changes that they wanted to see in that last run, he made for the
Mm.
City game. So he's like, you have the ability to make the changes. Why didn't you make it when things weren't going great? And so it's like, the look at how Villa finished the season. They got pumped by Crystal Palace on the last day. I think Spurs are within 3 points of Villa or two
Yeah.
points of Villa or something like that. Where
They were very close to Villa. Yeah.
yeah, they could have gotten Champions League football. But it's like I feel like, as with any fan here, if you
Mm.
lose 4 in a row, you're not thinking, yeah, this one game's gonna get us back. You're thinking it's done.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna go anywhere. So the most we can do is stop our rivals from winning the league, and we have that over
Mm.
them at least. So I think that's more the mentality of where the Spurs fans were. But then I also
Mm.
understand Ange in terms of him wanting to win the league. I think eventually he came out and said like he figured out what the issue was, because I don't think he fully understood when he made his comments what was going on. So
Yeah.
fair play
Yeah.
to that. But yeah, I mean they stopped Arsenal from winning the title. I mean that's the narrative they're gonna go with anyway.
Mm.
Stop Arsenal from winning the title, but in that blasted high line from Postecoglou is his downfall. I mean, even think about the Chelsea game.
That Chelsea game, bro. Oh man.
You're down 2 men, right? And
Mm.
all of your defenders are on the halfway line. And I'm thinking to myself, what is going on? And then of course, Chelsea missed like 5 big chances that game, but whatever.
Yeah. It could have.
Um,
It could have been. It could have been even worse for
could have
them.
been way worse.
Mm.
But yeah, Hassan was thinking, and then he came out and was just like, "We're gonna play our football," and I was like, "Okay, but you're gonna lose,"
Yep.
and he lost, and so it's like, cool. Let's see how the next season goes.
Mm.
If he's able to learn, or if he's still very stubborn about, wanting
Mm.
to play that high line. Spurs play fairly attractive football with Postecoglou.
Mm.
Cool, but where's he gonna get them? We know Spurs. Bob was asking what is Spurs ethos, and it's like it's clearly to bottle. That's what they're about. That's what they do. That's what Spurs is. That's what they're
It is the
always gonna be.
history of the Tottenham.
Yes, yes.
History of
When
the Tottenham.
when when Conte came out and I was just like, yeah, I can't deal with these lot. I was like, That's what I want to hear. Cause
Yeah,
but anyway,
yeah.
I don't wanna
And
I don't wanna.
And Jose Mourinho came out
Yeah, exactly.
afterwards, and he said that it's the only club he has no connection to.
Yeah, it's the only club he
Like
didn't win anything at.
he didn't do anything. Yeah,
I don't.
and then he got fired before a cup final. Like and
Yeah,
he
and then
had
they put Ryan
Ryan
Mason.
Mason.
They put. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I, I don't want to like dump on Spurs too much, even though it is my favorite pastime. But um, I will say it's not as if they have nowhere. Like people don't know where Spurs are gonna go next. I
Mm,
mean, you imagine that they're going to get in key replacements that are going to fit Postecoglou's system better,
mm.
and you think that they're going to improve, but then again, you know, who knows if Levy is going to open up his purse strings and get Postecoglou what he wants. You don't know. Although they should do. I mean, that Beyonce concert probably worked in a bunch of money, probably enough to buy a good
Yeah,
defender. Yeah, yeah. So,
yeah, exactly,
so we'll see.
exactly. And I even heard that they have like this racetrack underneath as well. Like
Yeah, they have a
I
bunch of
mean,
stuff. They
they have a
host
whole bunch of
NFL
stuff.
games. It's like it's crazy. Did
If there's
everything.
only if there's one compliment I can give Spurs, they have a six stadium. That is it. That is it from me.
Yeah,
They have
but
a six stadium. That's it.
nothing is gonna happen in that stadium unless it's like being played in as a final. That's it.
Yo, this stadium look
Yeah.
like a toilet bowl.
Very fitting, I'd say. Very, very
Very fitting.
fitting. But
But
Emmanuel, I mean, sort of cut him, Murray, but
yeah, no worries, go on.
I know that Emmanuel messaged me and said that he has to go very shortly. So I mean, bro, two things. I need to ask two things. What you thought of Spurs, this season,
Ah,
and
yo,
also the hopes of Manchester United tomorrow. You're a Man U fan. I want you to speak about Manchester United.
oh yeah.
Preview for the FA Cup tomorrow. Like,
Yeah,
speak
I
about
want to
that, bro.
hear.
Yeah.
Alright, let's start with Spurs. Let's just clear it up quickly. I don't like that club. I don't like them. They have no ambition. Their mentality is weak. I mean, I laugh every time when I see a manager come to Spurs and think they can make Spurs win something. I laugh because it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. It's in their DNA to just not accomplish anything. That's Spurs. No matter who goes there, that's
Mm.
just it. You understand?
And Hurricane as well for that
Yeah,
matter. But
and then
that's a different
I
story.
mean the way they're so contagious, they infect their players. And when their players leave, more likely they're going to fail. More than like it's not like Arsenal, they leave and they win the league
Damn.
in the next league. You understand? But
Mm.
Arsenal is like a curse, brother. I don't know. I don't even see them as a club, honestly. Like there's nothing about them. Nothing at all. Nothing.
Mm.
Absolutely nothing. I
Loving
mean, you
this.
guys, boy. I mean,
Let's get out the
man,
popcorn, man. Let's get out the popcorn.
man. It just sick my stomach. I spit at that.
Wow. Nah, man. Nah, man. You heard it there. You heard it. I mean, man. I
Stomach.
mean,
Sick stomach.
wow. But Emmanuel, like the FA Cup final, 9 a.m. tomorrow
FA Cup.
Jamaican time. I
Yeah,
mean,
bro. Yeah, bro.
the teams gonna play
I have,
City. Will you guys
brother.
win? What's going on, bro?
First
Hmm?
of all, I'll be at work tomorrow, and I won't even take out my phone to even watch that match. I know what's going
Wow.
to happen. We are going to lose. I'm not even going to question it. I don't. If we win,
Wow.
it's not going to mean much to me.
Listen,
I feel like this might be the end of Tenag, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Tenag is a boy. That man unnecessarily stubborn,
Mm.
right? Unnecessarily stubborn. Like I don't know. You see when alright, you see his first season, I say alright, yeah man, make him stay next season. I see where this is going. You see after this season, this is just completely backwards. Absolutely backwards. His place is ridiculous. So have a negative one goal difference. Yo, I could cuss all day long about how disappointed I am in Manchester United. But
Mm.
let's just focus back on the FA Cup. Yeah, we're going to lose. Man City probably might embarrass us, right? I mean,
Mm.
last season, I think we're in better form to play City in the finals. We're in worse form now, in my eyes. So I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not going to end well. Um, boy, we just sad for money. It's
whenever
really sad.
you said that you're going to be embarrassed. I think it's going to be 2-1, to City.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be close. I honestly feel like it's
So
gonna be
two
close
it
as
was
well.
it was 2-1 last time, right? I think it was 2-1 last time. I think they
Yeah, it
scored
was, it was,
early.
it was, it was. Yeah, they
I
scored
think
early.
Bruno
Yeah,
scored a penalty. I think Gundogan scored two. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
man.
Gundo.
Yeah,
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 that
yeah.
man is clutch. That man was clutch last season. I
Yep.
swear.
Yeah.
Mm.
Probably instead of Gundogan this time it's Roger doing the business. But I just don't see
Rodri
man.
always has a screamer, bro. He always
Yeah,
has a scream.
I mean, man, Ten Hag, I look at Ten Hag, I don't think I don't think he has a clue what he's doing now. Like him look completely
Mm.
lost, honestly. I mean, I watch him, when we go a goal down, and I watch like when the camera pan to him, it's like the man, it's like he doesn't know what else to do. Honestly, I
So,
mean,
just to clarify, what's your scoreline prediction for tomorrow?
I can go 3-1 to City.
Oh, 3-1 to City. Mm.
Yeah,
So you think it's gonna be like? Do you think it's gonna be like, because 3-1 is a very interesting scoreline. It can be like 3-1 as in domination, or it could be 3-1 as in close 3-1. It's 3-1
yeah.
is such a weird
I
scoreline.
just feel like it can be a case City game score.
Mm,
We get a little hope, we get a goal back, but at the end of the
mm.
day, City can finish the job. That's all I
If
see.
I if it ends 3-1, it's going to be like our visit to the Old Trafford the previous season,
Mm-hmm.
where
Oh,
I don't feel you guys are going to be horrid. I don't feel you're going to be absolutely stellar either,
Mm-hmm.
but
mm,
I don't think you're going to get rolled over. I don't think so.
Okay.
mm.
Yeah, but I don't think
And
I'm not watching that much,
Well,
honestly.
extra time 2-1 or extra time 3-1.
wow, wow. I mean, Bob saying extra time. Maury, your thoughts on the match tomorrow?
I mean, uh, well, I'm praying for Man United's downfall, and the only reason I said that, no, I have a good reason. The only reason I said that is because if Man United win, then Chelsea end up in Europa Conference League, not Europa League.
Oh
Right?
yeah, yeah. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, bro.
So
Yeah.
all Chelsea fans will be City fans on tomorrow. But yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I will also be a City fan tomorrow because I want to play the Community Shield.
right,
So
yeah,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
So I
Mm,
think it's even though I said that, I think it's going to be close. Manchester United are good on transition.
mm,
So if they can catch well, that's the thing, is to catch Man City out. But if they can, and I think this is the last game where Manu can, like, quote unquote save their season.
mm,
Surely anybody who cares, not necessarily about Ten Hag or even the club, but it's just like, if you care about winning, and if you care
mm,
about your football career as a footballer, you should have the desire to go out and try and get something from this game as best as possible. And
mm.
so I think that it's gonna be a lot closer than Immanuel thinks, which is unfortunate. But I'm gonna go. I think City will still edge it, but I'm gonna go 3-2 to City.
Wow, 3-2.
Yeah, it's a cup
So
final, man.
wow.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you, bro. I mean, that's a good shout. I'm thinking a 2-1, just like Bob. But I think 2-1 in 90 minutes. I don't think it goes to extra time. I feel like City will do it in the 90 minutes.
mm.
Honestly, I really do. I really can see that. But Emmanuel, another thing, bro. Before you go as well, I want to know, like, do you honestly think Ten Hag is actually going to be sacked?
Yes. I mean, I already made a statement that he had a meeting with the board recently
Mm.
and they had positive talk. But honestly, I think I mean, you got your chance. I don't see how you can go forward with this one, to be honest.
So even if he wins the FA
I,
Cup, you want him gone?
I mean, there's some things I like what Hag, but really and truly,
Mm.
he's just not the guy. It seems. I tired to say this because I've been through managers over and over, and it's just not happening. But Hag, let me tell you, it's one of the main things that I thought I spoke about his stubbornness. I'm tell you why I don't like his stubbornness. Like you see, with certain players, how he deals with certain players, I don't like. I understand you're the boss, you have to be strict, but sometimes you have to really look into the situation and say, yeah, you can be strict, but be reasonable.
You mean
Like
at
the
the Sancho
Sancho thing,
situation?
yeah, Sancho, Rashford. Alright, you see, if you had a squad like City, look at Pep and Cancelo. Pep can afford to send out Cancelo on loan, not playing, benching, whatever. We can't do that. We don't have that team to do that. You understand? And when we're having bad performances and then certain players that will have with quality and you follow up with them, you can't call on them, and it's just some unnecessary chaos, Man, you're already in a bad condition and then you have this to deal with. You understand? That's what I don't like with Ten Hag. When you handle certain players, I just don't like it. You're not gonna
So
have progress. You just get a bad environment.
so let's unpack that. I mean, you made reference to his poor man management of certain players.
Players, yeah.
Do you think Sancho has a future? Do you think Rashford has a future?
I think I
what are your
think I
thoughts,
think
bro?
I think Rashford's the future. I would honestly tell Sancho to leave. To be honest, I think you
Wow.
should just stick with her, man. I think that's the
Mm.
best thing to do. Even if Ten Hag leaves, I think you just leave Manchester United. Honestly,
So you don't think a new manager can unpack Sancho at United?
I mean it's possible, but I mean I like Sancho and I prefer him at Dortmund, to be honest.
Oh, okay. And like for example, out of all the positions Manchester United has to work on, what do you think Manchester United needs the most?
Jeez. I mean, I always say this, Manchester United has one starting 11 and nothing more. That's what I keep
Mm.
saying. We need a next. We need some quality man on the bench, man. Like how City can call and players, we don't have that. That's all.
Yeah.
So it's not like a one position, several. Luke Shaw unreliable. He's good when he's good. We
Mm.
need cover on that. Dallo, I mean, he's been really good this season, but we still need cover. One Bissaka make a lot of mistakes, especially near the end
Mm.
of the season. We just have a lot of players. They perform good on and off. Bruno, I mean, he's our most creative player, but certain things I don't like about Bruno. How he carries himself, especially when we're
Mm.
losing. I mean, as a captain, he just don't look good. Where he carry himself sometimes. When
Mm.
we're winning, he looks spectacular. But, when you want somebody to drive you when we're losing, Bruno is not that guy. You understand? There's just
Mm.
a lot. Oh my God, it's so many things going wrong at that club. So many.
Are you more optimistic about the new partial ownership? Ineos coming in. Sir Jim Ratcliffe. What are your thoughts about that?
It's just something that when it happens, it happens. And I can't make a comment. But right now, I don't know what to say. To be honest,
Like, are you optimistic
am I
or
optimistic?
yeah?
Man, man, the way how so much dark cloud come for me when it comes to Manu. No, I'm not optimistic.
Wow, man. I mean, it looks like Manchester United really, really,
Brother,
really
you should know
affected
this,
you that
brother.
negatively.
Brother,
Yeah.
I mean, brother, I barely watch Premier League, just because I want to avoid Manchester United. It's that bad. I'm suffering.
Jeez.
I am suffering.
So like me
I
last
think
season.
but Maury told me something similar. Maury told me something similar, man.
Okay, like it's so bad. Like I really was going to come on this discussion now because how upset I am with Manchester United. I'm so serious.
Man, I mean, granted, I think a good rant will be good for views. I mean, I know, I know. I mean, I'm not gonna complain, But honestly, bro, I mean, I've seen you struggle with Manu for real, man. I also noticed you support Barcelona as well, and you have been having problems with them as
Yes,
well. So,
yes, on both ends. I'm not happy as a football fan in general. I'm not happy at all.
oh man, I feel that, bro, man. That's tough. I mean, Bob and I can relate. We have been there. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
Arsenal. I
yeah.
mean, I mean, I mean. They always talk about Arsenal. Lockdown Arsenal at lockdown, COVID time.
Yeah.
The
Mm,
gimmicks. You had to
pain,
be there, man. It was
so much
crazy.
pain.
Man, man. I mean, I was even surprised we even won the FA Cup. I swear to you, man. That
Listen,
like with that squad, that was man.
this man win the FA Cup with Kolasinac, Mustafi, and well, I don't even know, bro.
Oh man. And I'm going to tell you what really epitomizes that season when Aubameyang drops the FA Cup, like he just like the top of the
Yeah,
FA Cup just fell off.
yeah.
I was like that. I mean, that's summed up Arsenal, man. I mean, and I saw like Tierney like tripping over his own feet, and man, like Mustafi wearing a durag and saying he keeps saying back on top.
saying this.
Yes, why he keeps saying back on top, like honestly. But Immanuel, bro, thank you for being on, bro. I know you have to, cut now, bro. Thank you for being on. Respect, really appreciate it, bro.
Yeah,
And yeah,
man.
hopefully, we'll see you on again, and hopefully Manchester. I mean, for your sake, Manchester United does better next season, and
Yeah,
actually
yeah. I
puts in a
pray for that.
performance tomorrow.
I think they will, but yeah, I think it still lose, but I think they will. You know what? As a matter,
Oh, he got.
Oh man, Bob got cut off. It looks like the Manchester City agents, Manchester
Yeah,
City
Yeah, they
agents
got
picked
him.
him off.
snap him out. Yeah.
They got him, bro. They sniped him off,
Wow.
man. But thanks again, Emmanuel, for being on, bro. Really, really
Yeah, man.
appreciate it.
Respect. Was actually fun being here. So
Yeah,
respect.
it was good.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
up the
man.
man. All
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, man.
yeah, man. Bless up, bro.
Bob's back.
yeah.
Yeah,
As a
Bob's back. Bob's back. Yeah.
fact, Google Chrome kicks me out. Anyway, um,
Damn.
yeah, I believe that it'll be a good game, but they'll be all
Mm,
right. I think there's brighter days ahead for our
mm,
old rivals.
mm.
Both of you, Chelsea and Man United, and I'm looking forward to it because I actually want to feel something when I beat you. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
drop five love and be like, oh yeah, I mean that was expected. No, 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 no. That's not
Mm.
what's supposed to be happening here. Even when we get six from Ono, it still meant something because we were still
Yeah,
technically Arsenal.
yeah, yeah. And I'm more kind of attest to that because I mean when we beat Chelsea 5-0 is like I mean he and I were just like we never, I mean I never really gloated. He never really said anything. I mean we just said, oh, it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah,
Bro, what
yeah.
exactly? What
I,
exactly was I supposed to say? My team got battered 5-0.
listen,
And
exactly. And I mean I didn't even feel good about gloating or no, anything because I know that Chelsea is just in a bad situation. So it's like I can't even to you see if we beat Chelsea like that and Chelsea was like under Mourinho or Chelsea was under Conte
it
when they were
meant
winning or
something.
Chelsea,
It would have
it
meant
would
something.
mean something. Like if Chelsea was up there, but Chelsea wasn't up there at the time. So it's like
Have we talked
yeah.
in depth about Chelsea out of the top six, or they're the last ones on the list?
No man, they're the last ones on the list for sure because I know that Murray has a lot to say.
Okay.
I mean, right now we're talking about Manchester United, and I mean,
I
I
mean,
mean,
I have a
yeah,
few ideas for Manchester United.
mm,
With the new joint owner, let's call it joint ownership because it's what Radcliffe, Ineos Group,
the Glazers.
and
and
the
the Glazers,
Glazers.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
okay. So I do think that the Glazers will take a back seat. Them still are gonna be pulling money out of the club, like it's
leeches,
hemorrhaging the club,
yeah.
like greedy old bags that they are. But um,
Yep.
Man United need. They don't have to do what Arsenal did. The full reset, drop
Mm,
to eighth, drop out of all competitions, reset the squad, full cleanse, can't get any players, blah blah blah, struggle, find gems for the next 4 or 5 years and get back to where you are now. They can't
mm,
do what we did.
mm.
For the reasons being, I'm not saying that Man United is a bigger club overall than Arsenal, but Man United has a much bigger presence because I still believe that United has the biggest fan base globally, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, they do, they do.
There is a, yeah,
Well. No. I think Real Madrid has the biggest
Yeah,
globally. I think Real
Premier
Madrid.
League. Sorry,
Oh yeah,
Premier.
in Premier League, yeah. Manchester
Man
United, yeah,
United.
for sure, yeah.
It is United.
Yes, United,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, definitely United.
Then, then you add to that them being, in a sense, the English Premier League's darlings. Yeah,
Yeah,
the bride, the constant bride for what you could all say the best part of 20 years prior to 2011, 2012, prior to
mm,
2014, let's say, the
yeah,
the
yeah,
darling
definitely.
of the Premier League. Um, the manager, I did not expect United. It doesn't look the same. The manager roulette that they've been doing compared to Chelsea, it's got completely different feeling about it. With Chelsea, prior to the top bowler era that we're in now, where we're already on manager number, that's going to be manager number 5, which is
Yep.
ridiculous. Um,
Boy.
Mm.
Not even during the Abramovich stage. Under Abramovich, everybody gets 18 months to two, maybe at best 3 years.
Yeah.
If you're showing results, of course, Premier
Yep.
League, Champions League, Premier League champions. That's all that man cared about. He actually likes football.
Sure.
Yep.
You could tell that he loved his club. When he left, he had to be forced by the British. Blah blah blah. I'm not gonna get into that. Obviously, he left
Yeah.
and took all the debt with him.
Yep.
Brilliant owner. Brilliant owner, I must
That
say.
right there is obviously we don't want to get into how he makes his money. Blah blah blah. That's politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
correct. Yeah.
but he decided of his own volition to say, I am going to help this club because I am leaving after 25 years of ownership or something like that.
Uh,
Almost 20 actually. No,
It's
it's like
almost 20. Almost 20, yeah.
2004 in takeover.
2003.
2003.
Yeah, so rough 20 years,
Yeah.
roughly a 20-year period, and that was a commendable action. Basically, giving Todd Bowley free reign, which he is wasting, by the way.
Oh, man.
Well over basically giving you £1 billion worth of cap space, to call it that, of tax. I guess room spending money. It's ridiculous. You have £1 billion to work with. When did Bowley came on? 2022, 2022.
Yeah,
Yeah,
2022. 2 years
2022,
ago.
yeah.
2022. So within 2 years, this man has blown through half the £1 billion of wiggle room that Abramovich handed to the club to allow growth. Um, but I was on United and I was saying the manager go around. It's different, whereas each manager feels so different from the last one with Manchester United.
Yeah.
Van Gaal, I think Van Gaal was pretty decent in comparison to a lot of them. Mourinho was a good one. Albeit a lot of things arose from Mourinho. Him highlighting that, oh yeah, 4th place with Manchester United was a great achievement, or was it second?
No,
No.
second.
Second.
He said second, yeah.
Wait, no. Wasn't it Ollie that got 2nd place?
Yeah, but Mourinho also got second. Mourinho also got second.
Mourinho got 2nd as well. So, it was
Yeah.
after that he said, oh yeah, getting 4th with this team, that particular team, was an achievement in itself. I think is what he said.
Mm.
It's a sad situation because we are their rivals, whether they like it or we like it or not. I want to see them compete with us. I don't want to just be beating Man United. I want to beat them and have it have meaning. We went to
some
Old
bragging
Trafford.
rights, some proper bragging rights, yeah.
Yeah, like we went to Old Trafford at the end of this season, right? And it was still an element about it that I could tell this is still Old Trafford. As much as the roof are leak and the stands them have fell out.
Yeah.
We could have a whole podcast
How about that?
on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're not getting to that. Yeah. Listen, United can't do what Arsenal did. The full reset, they will never be able to do that. They tried it slightly, like in terms of like splitting up the getting youth in, but the problem is you're still spending exorbitant amount of money versus somewhere like Arsenal where during that struggle period, probably William Saliba was the most expensive player that we paid for over time, besides Pepe.
yeah, you can't forget him.
And why I say that, I'm not counting Lacazette and Aubameyang because they gave us like 100 goals each, or near 100 goals each. So I'm not going to too much LARP on them. They had their shine in our team, and their errors were respectable. So I won't say they're failures, but I mean like big money that was spent Whereas you look at the state of the club and you say, do you really have the room to be spending that kind of money right now? Or is this really what need to be spending money on? Because I do believe he'll come up trumps and actually be a very, very good player in the Premier League. That's if they don't move him on. But Rasmus Højlund's transfer fee was a scam.
Ooh, yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't think it was ever worth that much.
Like, Atalanta, respect to them. Like, you scammed. That's a scam.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought Nicholas Jackson was a scam, but I didn't know it was less than 45 mil. So respect to you, because his goal return is actually like decent.
Yeah.
Like you pointed out earlier, Murray. But Højlund was a scam. Casemiro was a glory buy. So was Varane. It was a shirt sale by Ronaldo.
Casemiro's finished, by the way.
Huh?
I'm sorry, Casemiro's finished.
He's done. Yeah, he's on the beach. He's been on the beach.
Yeah.
Same for Varane. And I'm hearing the stupidest rumor I've ever seen, Varane back to Real Madrid. I'm like, he would never get back into that team, brother.
No,
He's
definitely not.
he's not even seen the bench if he was to sign back for them. That's how far he's fallen. But the team, Manchester United, there's a lot to clean up, but there are certain pieces that they cannot move on right away. Dalot has to stay. For me, Wan-Bissaka can go, but you can't sell both of them. Dalot has to stay. He's played well enough. I would move on with Maguire. I would get a new centre back. I'm getting a new centre back. That is the top priority on the list. Even if I keep Onana, I'm getting a new centre back. I am playing Binder, the second choice keeper. I am playing him next season, not just having him while on the bench. Luke Shaw, I probably would sell and get a new right back and just play Dalot at left back. And have Malacia be second choice. And just get a new right back. Yeah. Because
a quick thing. Sorry to interrupt you, Bob. I want to shout out Wolfgang. Big up yourself, bro. I see you watching. You know, just to give an update, bro. We're talking about Manchester United. We're talking about all the big six, and we're now talking about Manchester United. And of course, afterwards, we have Chelsea to speak about.
And then we should be wrapping up after that, right?
Yeah, we should be wrapping up, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, we can talk about transfers another day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, we have a whole bunch of things to talk about. I mean, we have the transfers, we have Euros to talk about.
Yeah.
Man.
And remember, I told you I need to write up my script too. I need to do my research and all of that. So
yes,
yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so many things we could speak about, man.
I've already started, of course, zeroing down on what players really fit Arsenal, blah blah blah, a bunch of that, and I did do a bit of shopping for Liverpool as well. So yeah, I have a few things to talk about.
Yeah, we definitely have to research for the big six, you know.
Yeah.
Because eventually, the plan is for this channel to really focus in on, the big six. Eventually, and not just Arsenal. Even though it'll be mostly be about Arsenal because I'm an Arsenal fan,
right.
and of course, majority of people I know are from Arsenal Jamaica, and those are obviously Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Good thing for me is that I'm friends with a lot of Chelsea fans. Murray is one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
I know Man fans. I know a few Liverpool fans. So I only know one Spurs fan, but that's not really important. I don't think I'll ever get a Spurs fan on my channel. I don't think I'll ever
I don't think that's good for the traction, my guy.
Yeah, but hopefully, if someone who's a Spurs fan,
maybe. You never know,
maybe you never know, but yeah, a City fan, City doesn't really have fans either. But I know there are a few glory hunters, so fine. I think I can find a few City fans, but yeah, it's mostly Chelsea and United fans I have, and Arsenal fans, really.
A decent core group.
Yeah,
Plus, all the Liverpool people I know are like old men, like in their 40s and 50s, to be very honest with you. So,
Yeah, same.
yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
commendable as well because it shows that there's true history behind certain clubs,
That's true.
um,
Mm. Yeah.
versus you know hurry and come ups like City, who really and truly, to me, it just seemed like somebody take a lighter blue shirt and go, change off real quick and come back. Um, I think them come from your fan group, really and truly, Murray. That's it. Still look like that to me.
As of what to say, when it comes down to injection of a
Mm.
lot of money into my club, I can't really talk because. But to be fair, we weren't
Mm.
goddamn second tier. Like we were winning trophies before Abramovich came. I just like to point that
Yes,
out.
that is
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
That's very true. That's
right.
true. It's true. Yeah, and that's the difference between Chelsea and City, in my opinion. And also, because you see, Chelsea actually had history before Abramovich.
Mm-hmm.
City didn't really have much history before Sheikh Mansour. So I mean, there's a difference. As much as people always say, "Oh, Chelsea and City are similar," not really. Chelsea actually had history. So that's why even though Chelsea London rivals or whatnot, I still have a little bit more respect for how Chelsea's run, or at least how Chelsea used to be run,
Oh my days, yeah.
than City. Yeah, but I mean, we're so don't worry, bro. I mean, Murray, we're soon to move on to Chelsea, bro. And I know you have a lot to say, but
Yeah.
to
Let
finish
me
up
just
on Manu, yeah,
um, where do I think United is going to finish next season? It
yeah,
depends.
that's the $1 million question, bro.
It depends. All right. If Ten Hag stays, I say they finish fifth or fourth. I
Mm,
said earlier that Liverpool would scratch fourth, so that's where that's coming from.
Okay.
mm,
Um, and yes, weirdly enough, I am predicting that Chelsea is going to be in the top three. I think I said that earlier. Um,
you did.
but no, I have to double check. I'll come back to that when we start talking about Chelsea. It's up in the air because of the Poch situation,
Right.
which I didn't expect. Um,
Mm,
so I don't have a new ranking or placement for Chelsea yet because of that situation, which I did not expect him to go.
That's fair.
Um,
We don't even have a manager at this point.
yeah, the man just decided, yeah, the same for me. Um, yeah, Man United fourth, fifth. Ten Hag gets a year, or he goes right after FA Cup.
mm.
Um, oh yeah, somebody's saying he's absolutely gone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wolfgang is saying, yeah, Ten Swine not staying after FA Cup. He's gone.
That super chat is crazy.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, Man United is in need of the reboot. They can't do it the Arsenal way. They're gonna have to find their own way to do it. I am not the master, and I am not enough of a quote air quotes fan of Manchester United to figure it out for them. So they gotta sort their stuff out.
Yep.
But they have to do a reboot of sorts, clean up some deadwood, and they're going to have to hold on to a few players, just as Arsenal did, until you find suitable replacements through recruitment, shrewd recruitment, or actually doing, pulling a bed white and biting the bullet and paying £50 million and
Mm,
getting ridiculed by the media um, for signing a £50 million English defender that was already in the Prem. But
mm.
the whole narrative is, oh, you're comparing him to Varane. Oh, 50 million. Christian Romero. Oh my God. Mr. Red Card, walking red card himself. Anyway, um, yeah, that's it
Yeah,
for
I
me
mean,
on Manchester United. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Maury, what do you think should be the expectation for United fans next season, and who do you think should replace Ten Hag?
Well, the rumor mill is saying it might be
Mm,
Pochettino that's going to replace Ten Hag, which is going to be quite interesting. There's also, although I have been hearing stronger things about Ipswich manager McKenna.
Yeah,
possibly
yeah.
coming in as well. So it is up in the air as well if Ten Hag leaves. What should they expect next season? To be honest with
Mm.
you, when they finished second, uh, well, last season, for season before last, if you want, when they finished second, it was kind of like, okay, Manchester United are doing well, but they clearly need, was it second? Yeah, they need work. And it was like, okay, uh, let's see what Ten Hag does for the next season.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, cool. But he hasn't delivered that. I mean, he got even more of the players that he wanted in the team, and they ended up doing worse. So I don't know if they keep Ten Hag. It'd be interesting to see if like things start to click.
Mm.
But then again, you also have to think about the fact
Papa Whitmore.
Yes, yeah, that shot has been crazy. I mean, Wolfgang moving mad. Wolfgang moving mad in the shots.
it'd be interesting to see. But then, yeah, there's the whole Sancho coming back off loan. There's the
Mm.
whole, Sancho and Rush had been really good friends, and how Ten Hag isn't really the greatest man manager, and it seems to be reflecting in you know
Yeah.
the pitch and the
Mm.
relationships he has with the players. I think he's gonna go regardless. I think after the FA Cup final, you're gonna hear Ten Hag's gone, and then they're gonna be on the manager merry-go-round once again. I think though that there's a core group of Manchester United players that could do well. Like still think Bruno is quite a good player.
Mm.
He's a good player. I think people like Kobe Mainu is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Garnacho is quite interesting. Hoyland, I mean, he's not worth nearly what they paid for him, but
Mm.
you can see if that kid gets more service, he can definitely do something in the Premier League.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, yeah, he could bang. He could bang. Yeah.
I think Onana is hampered by the people that are in front of him, by the defense in front of him.
I agree.
When you look at him when he was at Inter Milan, it's like he could very much rely on that defense. Yeah,
That man was the epitome of confidence
yeah.
at Inter Milan.
So
Mm.
he would try things. He would try passes. He would, you know, cut it close when it comes onto the press. He would do those things because he knows that that defense in front of him, not all of them,
Mm.
but they can pass the ball really well.
Yeah.
And if he gets himself in a spot of bother, let's say 8 times out of 10, they're gonna save him.
Mm.
So if he doesn't save himself, because he was a good shot stopper as well.
Yeah.
So I still think Oran is a good player. I just think that because of the
It's the situation.
yeah, it's kind of hindering him. So as Bob was saying, I don't think Man United need to uproot and throw everything away and then restart again. I just think they need to find what's that core that we're going to build around and then figure out how they're going to spend in the transfer window and then get that done. But all in all, to actually answer your question, I
Mm.
think that whoever the manager is should probably be fighting for top four, especially after such a poor season previously.
Mm.
I mean, it's Manchester United. I mean, we can banter them and say, yo, they're eighth or whatever, but I mean, there's a standard that surely they have in that club,
Mm.
and they should be fighting for European spots. So I think that's what they should be fighting for.
Yeah. Yeah. And Wolfgang says a comment. I think Menu, there's too much hype on him. They should just let him be.
I, th-
And I
Yeah,
kind of
they're
agree
going
with
to
that.
drown him. They're going to
Yeah, I
drown
kind of
him.
agree with that.
The
yeah,
media I refer to. They need to relax.
yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with that. English media doesn't
Yeah.
learn. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. The so is a spot on, Wolfgang. The spot on, bro. Because I mean, I believe Menu has potential to really be like the next big thing. I believe he can be almost as good as Casemiro. I really do believe that.
You
I
see the
really
Parts
do
prime.
believe.
parts of his game give me vibes of he could be the next Scholes for them. To those levels, but not just a Scholes, but also like a mixture of um I don't know how do you say this? There's a bit of Rooney in there, you know? like the way how he finishes is what I'm referring to. Like his ability around the box doesn't make any sense for just this his age and what he can do already. Is impressive, but and then you look at it and you're like, in defensive phases, you can tell he's a kid.
Yeah.
He's rash. He loses focus, awareness, cuts in and out, and then he realizes his mistake fairly quickly. But then he risks getting fouls on his head and among other things. But yeah, he has a future. Garnacho, I do believe, is going to grow into a wonderful player. In time. The same media hype that needs to calm down is the same thing I'd like to say about him. And Hoyland, as you said, he needs the service, so you need to have someone next to Bruno Fernandes. I say the same logic I was applying to Arsenal with the changing of the three in the midfield, how it works, is going to work even better for somewhere like United, where they don't have a Havertz, they just have a straight up striker. So they don't have to worry about that. They just need that cam. And I say drop Mainu, get him ready to play defensively minded, or put Bruno or Mainu at the top in front of the two and get a new DM and a centre back.
Yeah, both I think are valid. I think he could play the 8. I think he could play the 6. So I mean, I think he's a very amazing talent. And as Wolfgang says, Wolfgang's saying sometimes I see him play, I'm like, check his birth certificate, and I agree because he's just so mature. Mature player for his age. I mean, he's quality. But Bob, I have a question to ask you, and Maury will understand this reference. Do you think Wharton? Do you think Wharton is better than Rice?
What? I don't understand what's happening here. What? Is this a serious question?
Oh, best believe it's a serious question.
Best believe it's a serious question. Like, there's somebody in
you're asking me Adam Wharton, who, by the way, I do think he's a good player.
Yeah, he is.
Is Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton, in a sense, a revelation for them this season, a part of the resurgence they've had?
Yeah.
Better than Declan Rice? No, absolutely not. And I don't care what's behind this question.
Maury understands why we asked that question. Why I asked that question is because there's someone in our football group who genuinely believes that Wharton is better than Rice.
I wish he was here to defend himself.
I wish he was here, but there's no defending. I'm sorry, there's no defending.
Yeah, you're right, Wolfgang.
Wolfgang is like, I think I should leave this. Bob, the disrespect. And bro, Wolfgang, just a disclaimer. No one on this panel believes that.
That's correct.
Nobody believes. No one on this panel believes that. Like I'm a huge Rice fan. I'm an Arsenal fan, and even Maury, who's a Chelsea fan, he knows that Rice is amazing.
Yes.
I mean,
he's your former you guys made him give him start. So yeah, respect for that. I don't think we paid you a dime for him. I think West Ham paid all the money for him. But yay, thanks.
Yeah, I think he was still pretty young when he went to West Ham.
Yeah, so they would just have to pay like training fees or whatever.
Yeah,
as a centre back, might I add, as a centre back.
Really?
So
yeah.
The career as a centre back. Yeah.
He didn't seem that tall when he was younger.
He grew taller.
Yeah, he grew
taller. Yeah. Like he was like 5. I think he was like probably like 5'9", 5'10", and then now he's like what 6'1", like something like that.
No man, it's like a proper 6'4", I think.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
6'4", really?
Okay.
He's almost as tall as Havertz.
Well, I know Kai Havertz is 6'4" for sure. So
yeah.
Rice is probably like 6'2", 6'3" then.
He is. Nope, not Rice as in rice green. Come on.
Big up Google.
Oh yeah, he is 6'1", 6'2". Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, exactly. I was thinking exactly. Yeah, because I'm seeing the Kai Havertz is 6'4". I was thinking Rice is probably like 6'1", 6'2".
I'm glad we made a team of giants that actually can
Yeah,
move the ball, not slow pokes.
yeah. Trust me, Arsenal's come a very far away. But now we're gonna talk about Todd Bowley FC.
There we go.
Ah, boy.
Murray. You know, you kick us off, bro. You say everything that's on your mind.
Go
Chelsea
ahead.
Football Club.
This is you. This is all you.
This is all
Okay,
you, bro.
okay. So let's start with Pochettino coming in. He came in, and we were like, out of all of the options that we had at the time, he seemed like the best one. He was the one that was like used to developing youth. He's the one that
Yeah,
was like, yeah, we can take him in. You know, he's going to be here. He might not be the one to win us trophies, but he can definitely take us from, you know, the 12th position that we were in to something better and something, he can develop the kids and we can see where he's going to go from there. And it started off terribly. We didn't do well at all. We were 10th for a long time. And we're like, oh man. And here's the kicker with Pochettino being sacked. There were many times during the season where if Todd Bowley and co had sacked him, it would have made sense. We had a Wolves game, I think it was, where we lost. And man, that was that was a low point. That's a very low point. But
mm,
if they had sacked him then, I'd have been like, that's fair. The 5-0 at Arsenal, if you had sacked him there, that would have been fair. But
yeah,
they didn't. They said, we're gonna keep him, we're gonna have him finish out the season. And we're like, okay, we're gonna have to endure. And he won 5 games on the bounce in the last
yeah.
5 games of the season. And now we're almost solidifying Europa League. We're definitely in Europe. And we're going, okay. Cole Palmer has been a revelation this season.
Amazing, amazing player.
Nicholas Jackson ended up having a decent return. Caicedo has really grown into. Caicedo is amazing, by the way.
Mm,
And
yeah,
you also had players like Madueke who were sitting better. You had Mark Cucurella who really started to look good in that inverted fullback role.
Yep.
Things really
mm,
started to look like, it was clicking, and we're going,
mm,
okay, all right, cool. We ended the season pretty well. Uh,
And in Europe at that.
yeah, we're in
yeah,
Europe. There isn't much in terms of like, because we have a lot of players. So we're saying, if injuries don't happen as, because we had a lot of injuries, if injuries don't happen as much next season, and
mm,
we can keep a stable 11, Chelsea can really push for Champions League, because Champions League is what we want. And
yeah,
maybe we'll go on like a good cup run, we win maybe 1 or 2 cups. That's the mindset we're having now. Because maybe all who didn't want Pochettino in before are thinking, all right, we're finally starting to see some stability at the club. Cool. And then they sacked him. And it's just like, okay. And now we're back to square one again.
mm.
So I have some points. So since Boxing Day, we gained the 4th most points in the league.
Wow, I
Yeah.
had no idea.
We finished the season with 5 wins in a row, as I said. The players love Poch and clearly play for him,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
which was
I
which was
agree.
yeah, which I thought was like a big notch that he had going into his review. That the players love him, the players definitely play for him, and they want to keep him. One I think one player called him the best man and manager that he's ever had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm,
I have, but I also have the owners wanted a more possession-based brand of football. We were very
mm,
vertical. That's kind of what Poch specializes in. He's
Yeah.
not, yeah, he's not like you know, play position with the ball and then try and create chances that way. He's like, you create space, you put the ball into space, and then you work your chances.
mm,
Right.
That's not what the owners want, and they didn't feel like it was tailored to the players that we had. He felt like the players that we had were a lot more technical, and he wanted a more possession-based football. They want a head coach, so they don't want somebody who's gonna want to like have their say in transfers or who we get to keep or who we leave or anything like that. We want a head
Yeah.
coach, just somebody where Chelsea brings in the players and the manager works with what he has. Poch wanted Marseille's in transfers. Uh, Poch made. Oh, right. So there were players that the board was looking to sell, like Gallagher and Chalobah, for pure profit
Mm.
because they come from the academy. And
Yeah.
Poch made those players key players in his side.
Yeah.
So Poch said, Gallagher, we had 51 games this season. Gallagher played in 50 of them.
Mm.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Wow.
wow,
So he was
that's
vital for
crazy.
Pochettino. Yeah. And he has 1 year left on his contract now. And yeah, Poch obviously wanted him to stay, and obviously wanted Chalobah to stay because when Chalobah came back off injury, he was playing really well. But the board sees them as pure profit, and they're trying to get them off. So there's that as well. So there were a lot of things that Poch had a say on, and the owners disagreed with, and that clash when they came to the review meeting. When they came to the review meeting, it was like, listen, I want this, and the board was like, no, we want this, and so they decided it's not going to work, and so they split. And so from that perspective, I can understand why. But then
Mm.
again, it's like you as the board, you're finally having some sense of stability with your club. I know you're going to upend it once again. And I know I'm going on like a monologue here, but like
There's a lot to say, bro. I get it.
yeah. And then what makes it worse is when you look at the managers now that are now linked with us.
Mm.
It's Kieran McKenna from Ipswich. It's Enzo Maresca
Mhm.
from Leicester. It's
Mm.
Thomas Frank from Brentford. First of all, Thomas Frank doesn't even play possession football, but whatever.
Exactly. I was like, I didn't understand either, man.
And then so apparently, so there are all these championship managers and Thomas Frank that are like vying for a Chelsea job, and I'm going seriously, Mauricio Pochettino for this. Until recently, I don't know how
Mm.
true this is, so I'm going to say this is very much allegedly. Recently, there have been rumors going around that what's happening is the Chelsea owners have been putting out propaganda. So essentially, they've been putting out these really bad manager names as like shortlists for the the Chelsea job
Mm.
out to the media, and the media is obviously lapping it up. But
Mm.
essentially, that's all a false flag because what they want to do is Chelsea fans currently don't like the Zerbi. And so if you say, "Hey, this is a bag of turd," we're gonna be like,
Mm.
"That's horrible," and then you come around and you be like, "Oh, instead, I'm just gonna, I polished the turd for you, so here it is," and it's like, "Oh, well, that's much better." So that's what we're getting. So essentially, what they're doing
Yeah.
is they're waving terrible in our face to then do the switcheroo to be like, "Oh, it's actually the Zerbi. It's not that bad." And
Mm.
apparently, that's what they're gonna do. I don't know how true that is, but I kind of hope it's De Zerbi because at least it's a Premier League manager.
Yeah, and the Zerbi actually tries to keep the ball. So that would be the closest out of all the options you mentioned who
True. Well, I mean,
could
Enzo
actually.
Enzo Maresca for Leicester, he does
Well, yeah,
yeah, he
yeah,
keeps the
yeah.
ball. Yeah, he's pretty good with possession.
Mm.
But yeah, nobody knows what's gonna happen with Chelsea once again. Isn't it great?
Man, with Chelsea, what do I even say? You guys, I believe you guys really well. Firstly, the Poch sacking, it took me by surprise, honestly, because when I saw a graphic on the Premier League Instagram, and it showed the first 19 games compared to the last 19 games of the season,
Yeah,
and Chelsea did so well in the last 19 games.
yeah.
They did like so well, and I was like, I feel like Chelsea's finally kicking into gear, and I feel like if Poch was given the next season, I believe Chelsea would have gotten top four. Honestly,
Well,
I honestly believe that.
here's the kicker, Brian.
Hmm.
I don't care who they bring in for next season.
Hmm.
My my anticipation is top four. We must get top four. I don't care who
No
the
matter, no matter the manager.
doesn't matter.
Hmm.
And if we fail to achieve that, I'm not going to pile it on the manager. I'm piling it on
The owner.
owners. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's no way you can have a sense of stability in your club and then just completely uproot it because it doesn't completely fit your vision. And
Hmm.
it seems like you want to micromanage the club in a way that I don't think is sustainable. And
Hmm.
so we must listen. We finished what, sixth? And
Hmm.
if we hadn't drawn to Sheffield and Burnley, which is a disgrace, but if we hadn't drawn to them,
Hmm.
then we would have easily been fifth, possibly fighting for definitely not
Top
fighting for
four.
yeah, definitely in the argument, but I don't think we would have gotten it. But that's fine.
Hmm.
So it's like it's a couple results away from like in and around where you'd expect Chelsea to be,
Hmm.
right? And then it's another preseason. It's another set of training and gelling with the team, and we're going into a next season to see what happens. More Premier League experience. It only looked like it was going up, and now we have no idea what's going to happen. So
Hmm.
whatever happens, we must get top four. Must.
Well, okay. So Wolfgang brought up. Wolfgang said something in the chat saying Bole had to spend $1 billion because he had to spend a lot on the club to see the return. Now, there is a train of thought, bro, that Todd Bowley basically he bought all these expensive young players for two reasons. One is to for their resale value because they're young players and most of them will only get better.
Hmm.
But also two because it will also increase the overall value of the club. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to increase the value of the club so that he eventually can sell it for a profit. What do you say to people who have that perspective?
Um. Well, okay. So to be fair,
Mm,
there's actions and then there's words. So when you listen to what Paul is saying, what he
mm,
says when he gets interviewed, he says the first thing on his mind is winning.
mm,
But I mean, you take a billionaire's word at your own risk. So
mm,
when you look at actually what he's doing on the pitch, you can see that you can't say it's for a lack of trying. He's definitely pumping money into transfers. It
yeah.
seems like he really wants to build a team that's gonna gel and be successful for years to come. But
Mm,
it's just that, I don't remember who said it, but kids don't win you leagues. And so
yeah.
everybody that we're buying is 22, 21, 20, 19. We just bought, or it looks like we're gonna buy the 16, 17-year-old Brazilian winger from Palmeiras for 60
Yeah.
million euros. And it's just like, okay,
Mm,
where's the experience? When Poch was around, he said we need more experienced players. Um, that's the run of the mill for the managers that come around.
mm.
Nobody's experienced. Our oldest player is like 25 if you take out Thiago Silva. And I think, yeah, and I think Ryan Sterling as well.
And
Yeah,
Sterling,
yeah, yeah.
yes, yeah. Mm,
Apart from that, like everybody we've bought has been 25 under. And so it's like,
wow.
yeah, so we need the experience. We need people who have, and that's why like certain things rub me the wrong way, like
Mm,
Jorginho signing and the contract extension at Arsenal, because it's like that that is clearly why he's there. He's there for experience. He's a Champions League winner,
yeah.
and it's like that's the type of mentality you want to keep around the club. He doesn't play.
Third in the Ballon d'Or or 1 point.
Let's chill with that one. But like he he clearly brings something to the team that is not always on the pitch, and that's why
Mm,
they want to keep him around. We don't have that where we are.
mm,
And the people that you say would have won the Champions League, Reece James always injured, Ben Chilwell
mm.
always injured, Thiago Silva gone. That's it.
Wow. I mean, Bob, from the outside looking in, what like how do you see Chelsea? How do you see Todd Bowley? Like, explain to me, bro. Like, how is Todd Bowley in your eyes? Bob. I'm not sure if Bob is still on. I'm not sure. Bob. All right. Well, I guess Bob is. Bob, I'm not sure if Bob is still on, but
Total
let's go
commission.
back to you then, more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, with Todd Bowley and them.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what is your been experience with Todd Bowley so far?
Well, it obviously hasn't been great. We finished
Mm,
12th, and if it wasn't for that run of games, we'd have finished like 9th, 10th.
mm,
And so I'll be very honest with you. I think I I want to see it work. You know,
mm,
when you look at the likes of Nicholas Jackson, you look at the likes of Cole Palmer, Madueke a lot. I think to myself, if we can just get this team to be consistent, which is obviously the problem you're going to have with younger players, but if we can
mm,
get this team to be consistent, then we really can do some damage in this league and in the cups.
mm,
And so I look at the team and I go, we just need that linkage. And
mm,
if the new manager comes in and can get that, let's say it's Deserbi, because Deserbi
mm.
he's worked with Caicedo, he's worked with
Cucurella,
he's worked
I
with
think.
Cucurella. No,
Yeah.
no, no, no,
Oh, he hasn't.
no. I don't believe.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. Sorry, sorry. That's Graham Potter. That's Graham
Yeah,
Potter. My bad. My bad. My bad.
he worked with Caicedo. He worked with Mudrik
Yeah.
at Shakhtar,
Correct. Yes, that's
and
correct.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna love Enzo
Mm.
and Co. So, good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Maury, what are you thinking, bro?
I would never sell Reece James. Are you kidding me? I would never sell. Listen, I don't care £1 billion. We keep Reece James. He's that important.
Wow.
You remember, even outside of this, remember I was talking to you and I was telling you, I
Mm.
think Reece James is the best right back in the world. Still, no,
Really?
yeah.
Mm.
And so I really don't want to get rid of him. Chilwell, on the other hand, it's not that I want to get rid of him. I would not want to sell him, but he needs to take a back seat. I think
Mm.
the injuries have, even when he comes back, it's not like Reece James where he's injured, he comes back, he still looks ridiculous. Like it
Mm.
takes some time for Chilwell to get into his rhythm,
Yeah.
and it's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult to depend on somebody whose injuries are that much. I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if we can get like a consistent left back, I think that'd be good. I don't know if selling Chilwell is the best idea. Again, about that experience,
Mm.
there's another player you're gonna get rid of, another Champions League winning the side that you're gonna get rid of. It's a bit hard to take, but yeah. If Chilwell goes, I'm not gonna be like livid. But if Reece James goes, I'm burning Cobham down. I swear to God.
But what would you say for people who say that availability is the best ability because Rich James has all the ability in the world.
But
I
it's not
mean,
on
I
the
believe
pitch.
when yeah, but here's the thing though, and that's the problem. If he's not on the pitch, that just how valuable is he?
Uh, so the reason why I'm holding out hope for Reece James on
Mm,
his availability is because there have been reports coming out that the way that Pochettino has been dealing with training
mm,
was quite, was fairly antiquated. And, if a player comes back from injury, he didn't put them in like a
mm,
specialized type of training. He kind of just like would put them back into the team. And it was kind of like that's another point that the board members had where it was just like, hey, we don't like the way that you're training these players, and we think that the way you're treating them is actually maybe not the entire cause because we had a lot of injuries, but it's
mm,
definitely a factor. And Poch didn't want to hear any of that. He thought his training was fine. And so
mm,
even though this goes outside of Poch, Reece James's injury issues,
mm,
I think I think if we can keep him, here's the thing: we also bought Malagusto, who's been very good this season.
Yeah, I
He's
think
been
so.
very
Yeah.
good, and so there is no need to be rinsing Reece James for minutes because
Mm.
we have such a good backup in Malagusto. And so I feel like if we're able to manage him properly, his time,
Mm.
then we can keep him effective for longer. So that's my mentality with it.
I get that. I get that. Bro, we cannot talk about your team without mentioning the man, former City player, Cole Palmer.
Ooh, cold Palmer. Oh
Cole Palmer,
yes.
man. Bro, tell us about Cole Palmer, bro. Like, honestly, how good is he? What's his potential like? I mean,
Okay. How good is
yeah,
he?
yeah.
Most goal contributions in the league this season.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think just pipped Ollie Watkins and Haaland, who had I think 30 and he had 31, something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Uh bro, he's cold, man. He's like so good. Like he's the reason I watch Chelsea. Like there are
yeah.
days when I go, I know for a fact that Chelsea are gonna play like rubbish, but he's the one. He's that bright spark. Trust me, man. And as the team around him has gotten better,
Mm.
it's just like even with that, you can still see that he just looks levels above.
Mm.
It's ridiculous what he's doing in his first, let's say, his first full season in the Premier League.
Yeah, yeah,
Because remember, he was still even right at the beginning of the season. He was still coming off the bench for City.
yeah. He was.
Yeah, and he just thrived, man. Oh my days, Cole Palmer. Where is he seeding? I don't know. So as much as I'm, waxing lyrical about him, I don't want to.
Mm.
He's still young. I don't want to put all this pressure on him by like saying, "Oh, he's world class" and that type of thing. It's just like I obviously he's doing incredibly well in the Premier League, which is not
Mm.
easy to get you starting,
Yeah,
and so it it's so interesting to see where he's going to go, and I think he's going to go far if he keeps up. He's one of the few players that didn't get injured really
mm.
during the season as well. So like his availability is like pretty good.
Yeah,
So I'm very excited to see where Cole Palmer goes, man. I think he's great.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if we can get our wingers and Jackson to finish the chances he creates, who knows where he's gonna finish?
Yeah, and Wolfgang asking Palmer and Rice signings of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so too.
definitely.
I
Yeah,
mean, I think, a matter of fact, unbiased speaking, I feel like the only reason why Palmer hasn't won Player of the Year or over Foden is literally because Chelsea, came sixth.
yeah,
Because anyhow Chelsea was at least in the top three,
he would have
he
been
would
under
have
him.
definitely gotten it despite City winning the Premier League. I'm telling you straight up.
Yeah,
I'm telling you straight up. This guy, I watched so many Chelsea matches just because of him. I think he's class.
but the first goal I think about when I think of Cole Palmer is
Mm.
in the Everton game where and he nutmegged Branthwaite, who's having a good season by the way at
Yeah, he
defensive
is.
for Everton. Nutmegged him, did the
Mm.
1-2 with Jackson, and just slotted it far corner. And I
Yeah.
just went, "Oh my word, what's going on here?" That's one, and two when he scored the last minute pen for City against City, and
Oh yeah,
Peter Drury was like, "City's boy is Chelsea's man," and I was the
Chelsea's
goosebumps,
man.
bro.
Yeah,
It was incredible. He's very good, man.
yeah.
Oh my
And a
days,
matter of fact, the header he scored the other day,
that's that's ridiculous.
bro. You see, that is when I realized this guy is. I'm sorry to say I'm sorry to say this from a rival fan's perspective, but unbiasedly, I think I think his ceiling potentially is as high as Foden and Saka's zone. I genuinely believe that. I
Is Bob
genuinely
back?
believe that.
Okay.
Barbary back, bro.
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Um.
We're talking about
Probably gonna have to go soon permanently though. Um,
Yeah, man, we're wrapping up, man.
okay.
We're
but
wrapping
We're
up.
yeah,
wrapping up.
Yes, start here. But we were talking about cold Palmer. Like, how good is cold Palmer for you, bro? Bob?
hello,
Yeah, yeah, we're hearing
Yeah,
you now.
Bob. Yeah, we're
hello.
hearing you now. Yeah, 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 yeah. How good is cold Palmer? Are you hearing us?
Yeah, I am. Um, yeah, I think it should be better now. Um, he's a brilliant player.
Hmm.
Um, by the way, I don't think he's a winger of sorts, based off what I'm seeing some people do for the England squad. Trying to fit him in and Foden and Saka at the same time. He's not a right winger. Um, what I've seen from some people in their Dream 11s. Um,
Hmm.
no, I think Rice Ed takes it from Palmer for player of the season. Wolfgang. I At the second half of the season, I don't think it was just him that was carrying the Chelsea team. I think he encouraged or inspired the Chelsea team to actually get things going or get things rolling to really and truly save their season or to grow a bit more pride in themselves or in the squad. They looked really good by the end of the season, um, even conceding less goals in comparison to the first half. Where I thought that every game for Chelsea in the first half of the season was a 4-2, 4-3, 5-4, something like that. It was going to be
Yep.
one of those back and forth ping pong games, but
Hmm.
they got better, which was commendable. Um, I don't remember if you guys signed anyone in January.
No.
No, it was just summer signings and the
Yep.
previous season. In that case, you have a lot of loaned out players to deal with, and a lot of current squad players to clean up as well.
True.
Um, I'm not sure what you want to do with Gallagher. I would keep him at least for one more year because once you're done cleaning, he's going to be one of the only few remaining players that are from that core group or could form a core group of leadership in your club.
I
Um,
agree.
Interesting player, of course, but there's a
Yeah.
lot to unpack with Chelsea. I won't get into too much detail because a lot of it is transfer based.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So we can save that for another time. But they've had a good season right at the end there. Um, really salvaged it. I actually want them to go into the Europa League to kind of fast track things for themselves because I miss the Chelsea of old, but I'm not too proud of the situation with the manager. Yeah,
Yeah.
So, Bob, do you think Pochettino should have been sacked?
no, no. And that's why I'm still not clear on something because it sounds like he just walked by mutual consent and decided I am not staying. I don't get it. It does not sound like he got sacked to me. It sounded the way how he words it like he said I'm done. I don't get it.
Hmm.
The way how they've worded it in the articles.
Yeah, they had an end of season review meeting, and
Hmm.
essentially they had a big difference of opinion in the way they wanted things to work out, and Maurizio felt like he had a lot of backing, especially from the players, and
Hmm.
his decent
Yeah.
run at the end of the season. But the owners, they want to go in a different direction from what he was proposing, and they didn't see eye to eye, and so they were just like, yeah, it's best we call it here.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Hmm.
And now they're going to
Wow.
reopen the wounds.
Yep, yep, yep.
Um, let's see what happens. See what happens first. Todd Bowley destroying your club completely, or someone coming along to actually give him a little bit of what he wants to just salvage what's going on over there. You need a solid manager. I'd
Hmm.
give it to my or what's his name, the Leicester coach.
Oh, Mariska.
Yeah, one of the two.
What about the Zerbi?
No.
Wow.
I hope he never coaches in the Prem again. I hate him so much.
Man.
You know why? You know why?
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
I
Oh,
actually do.
yeah. You know,
Yeah, I do. I do.
the main reason
And
Chelsea was
it's not even just one season. It's like 3 seasons worth that was cooking for. I do not like the man.
the reason why Chelsea fans don't like him is because every time we play Brighton, he does a slight dig at Chelsea in his press conferences every
Mm,
single time.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah, but
Yeah,
to be
anytime it's us, it's let's just say that their loss to City didn't look too convincing to me.
oh wow,
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I actually agree with that, but we can't prove anything, so
we
you know,
cannot.
we cannot prove anything. But yeah,
allegedly,
allegedly,
yeah.
But I have one final question, so before we wrap up, and that is who was the dark horse of last season? Maury, you go.
Who was a dark horse? Surely
Across
it's
the
Villa.
whole Prem.
Yeah, across the whole prem, like which team surprised you the most? Like which team surprised you the most with how good they were?
Surely it's Villa for me. I never expected Villa to get Champions League under Unai Emery. But they did it.
Mm.
I'm gonna go with Aston Villa. They
I'm going
had
with Bournemouth.
ooh, that's a good shout actually.
Yeah, Bournemouth surprised me. Zabarni, he surprised me. I mean, yeah, that whole team.
Also, um, Palace under Glasner.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm, that was my answer. Yeah, Palace on the since Glasgow took over was would have had to be my answer. But I'm gonna have to change it because we say dark horse or expect, which is really and truly surprises, expectation based.
Mm.
I'm gonna have to say Bournemouth too.
Mm.
With a few more games, Bournemouth could be in European contention this year.
Yeah,
So
yeah. True, very true.
I
it's
feel so too.
really wow. Solanke really channeling the anime powers in
Yeah.
front of the line,
Big time.
main character energy.
Yeah.
I like that about him. It's I've never met anyone who's involved in sports and let's call it weeb culture and the arrogance. So
Yeah.
he looks like he has a good head on his shoulders. So yeah, I'm gonna say Bournemouth and my player dark like MVP surprise MVP to go along with the dark horse for me was it was Solanke, to be honest.
Really?
Uh, because I didn't expect him to actually, in a sense, step up his game and
Mm.
really support the Bournemouth that we got last season.
Mm.
Um, I thought it was just going to be another 15th place. That's it, done and dusted. That's all I felt. But it
Mm.
was a good season for them. Impressive results. Iraola turned things
Yeah,
around right at the end there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Impressive.
I saw lots of people have so much faith in him that the hippie culture. The hippies always want to be right about their manager decision
Mm.
yep.
choices and such. But yeah, he's one of them where I have to agree with the football hippies. What a surprise.
Yeah. Wolfgang is saying Luton, although
Mm,
they got relegated.
yeah, but because they got relegated, it's a heavy tax on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like I mean, you see, if he survived relegation, then there'd be more credits in the bank for me. But I mean, he got
True.
relegated. The
I
three
mean,
teams that got promoted got relegated.
true. I mean, shout out Everton, points
Mm,
deductions
yeah,
You know,
and all. Yeah,
yes, yes, I agree. I agree. That's a very good shout because despite
oh,
everything that's
those still.
they
going around
still
them,
stayed
with
up.
all the point reduction, they still stayed up. I mean, what else can you really ask for? But my dark horse player was definitely Cole Palmer. I mean, I mean, come on now. Who expected Cole Palmer to get the most GA? Who?
And nobody,
Nobody.
nobody.
Not
You know,
one person.
I'll
Technically,
give like
technically not me, although I will throw my hat in there and say I predicted a um 10 goal, 10 assists, just as I did for Havertz.
Hmm.
Um their respective what is wait, has Palmer only been here for a season?
yeah,
Yeah.
It feels like he's been there for like 2 good years, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was, as I was telling Brent, he was still coming off the bench for City at the beginning of this season.
Like I had to second guess that for a minute there. Like when did you sign Palmer again?
Yeah, it was
Look
this season.
at these stats, man. I'm sharing the screen right now. 34 appearances, 22 goals, 11 assists.
That's
Are you
ridiculous.
kidding me? Are you kidding me? 33 goal involvements in 34 appearances.
That's elite level numbers, man.
That I'm sorry, man. That is crazy, man. To me, he has to be my dark horse. I don't think. I mean, come on, no.
Hmm.
That is crazy stats, man. Like, I mean, I have a controversial question to ask. I mean, do you think he has potential to be better than Saka and Foden?
Before I answer that,
Hmm.
there's a this is gonna be slightly controversial, but I'll explain. You could
Hmm.
go Foden for dark horse, and I'll explain why.
Hmm.
Foden we've known his quality, right? So
Hmm.
that's not surprising. But especially towards the second half of this season, he
Hmm.
really became an integral player for Manchester City, which he has never done before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
Him having to not necessarily put the team on his back, but him coming up with some very crucial goal involvements
That's so
really
true. Yeah.
mattered. And it was just like that was like the main thing people were wondering of him because he was the one that always scored, the fourth goal, the fifth goal. But
Yeah.
him getting the license to like cut in and whip it from like 20 yards into the top corner, he's done that goal so
Hmm.
many times this season.
It's true.
Um, and I'm just like, this kid is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's not obviously he's not like the first person you think of when you think dark horse, but
Hmm.
yeah, that's a shout. But in terms of if Cole Palmer can be better, well, this is this first season and he's already been so ridiculous. And the 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 club that he's in and how unstable we've been and everything like that. So on that first glance you'd say yes, but I'm very wary of applying that kind of pressure to him
Hmm.
just yet because he's still young
Hmm.
and he's pretty much taken this Chelsea side and put it on his back. I'm
Hmm.
surprised he didn't get any back injuries due to the weight. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully he doesn't have to do that and he's able to like settle in. I don't expect him to hit these numbers next season. If he does, that's ridiculous again. But I think he'll still do well. And I just want him to understand that, he is cold Palmer, cool.
Hmm.
But, again, you're still a part of a team. There was one thing that, and to be fair, he has the license to do this, but there are a couple of times where there was the pass on and he decided to take the shot, that kind of thing. Like he was going for the golden boot in the midst of us trying to, get to a European position. And,
Hmm.
I can't fault him for it, but it's just like,
Hmm.
if we can gel more as a team and maybe not be as selfish. It's not him alone, then cool. Because he probably could have gotten way more assists, which is
Hmm.
crazy to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not putting too much pressure on him.
I mean, Wolfgang is saying Palmer can pass Saka and Foden if they can provide proper help. And the
Let
thing
me
is, yeah, Bob, you answer that.
in Wolfgang's point, I I don't want to discredit anything Foden does, but as long as he's not getting marked like Saka, I don't really like the comparisons. Like that goal, that identical goal, the cookie, like the copy goal that he's been scoring this season,
Hmm.
he's not getting marked. He's getting into that space with free reign and setting up so perfectly for that shot. It is ridiculous for me. So I need the league to start marking him, to give him a challenge.
Yeah.
Really give him a taste of soccer medicine, because I don't like these the loose comparisons when he's not getting the same treatment Saka is.
True.
Which nobody
Well,
will. Saka will always get
well,
this treatment.
could it be argued that the reason why Foden isn't double teamed is because Pep's system allows him not to be double teamed?
Yeah,
Because
he
they
has
found a way to eliminate them.
more.
That's, yeah, but I mean, like, what you want from your wingers though? Because I'm very glad that we're ending back up in an era where our wingers are actually taking on defenders.
Well,
And like, I love seeing Saka because Saka is willing to go at somebody. He's willing to dribble. He's willing to do a 1-2 run in, take a shot, that type of thing. It's part of why I love seeing him play, and why when he plays for England, mostly because
Mm.
when he plays for Arsenal, I'm like, God damn it. But when he plays for like England and I see him, I'm just like, oh man, what a player that is, man.
Mm.
So I like that. So I think the thing
I mean,
with
if
yeah,
you have 200 mil, you can probably get him.
would you really give up
Uh,
Saka for 200 mil?
Oh.
no,
Okay,
absolutely
I was about to say.
no,
I was about to say. I
bro.
think
There's no amount of money that we Arsenal needs to do that. At the end of the
exactly.
day. There's no reason to do it.
Exactly.
I think what the refs need to do though is they need to protect
Mhm.
they need to protect wingers like him because everybody mocks Saka for like limping off of the pitch.
Mm.
It's like, oh, that's a Saka walk, and it's like, yeah, because he gets kicked all the damn time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
People like Joshua Kimmich out here mocking, and I'm like, bro.
yeah, yeah,
Man, Wolfgang is
listen,
livid, man. He is
listen,
livid. He said
listen,
200 million, you mad?
listen, Wolfgang. I that them do it earlier. Come because now I want to go on for the phone, bro. Anyway, um, yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Everything else I have to say is leaning into more transfer talk territory. So I'll
Yeah,
save all of that and
yeah. That'd be an interesting conversation for that time.
yeah, definitely. So, I mean, guys, we did 3 hours and 32 minutes.
yo,
Jesus,
Please, guys, like the video. I mean, we worked so hard on this conversation. 3 hours.
God
another
damn.
one.
Subscribe. And another one. Big up DJ Khaled. But yeah, we really worked really hard, and Wolfgang, big up yourself for watching. Other people who were watching, big up on yourself. Of course, I want to thank my panel, Bob, Maury, big up on yourselves
Cheers.
every time,
Yeah, man.
and yeah, peace out, man. Bless up everybody. It
Yeah,
was
man.
a good
Respect.
one.
Bless.
Yes,
All right, there we go.
salute.
Salute.
Yeah, man. Up.